As I speak, I'm going to ask the white Americans in the room to please repeat after me. On behalf of myself and on behalf of my country, to you and all African Americans, from the beginning of our nation's history, in honor of your ancestors and on behalf of your children, please hear this from my heart. I apologize. Please forgive us. With this prayer, I acknowledge the depth of the evils that have been perpetrated against Black people in America. From slavery to lynchings, to white supremacist laws, to the denial of voting rights, to all the ways, both large and small, all of them evil, all of them wrong, for all the oppression and all of the injustices. I apologize. Please forgive us.
Real.
I think we got a problem, got a problem.
Let's go. Get up. Stack low, baby. You hear that? You can't sit down to that. Okay.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Sheik Luch, LOXD Block, Silverback. Hey, yo, right now I need to shout out the ISUPK classes. I want to give a huge, big, humongous shout out to all the UPK schools. Shout out to Black Watch, hosted by General Johanna. Bird, I need y'all to check out Cross the Line Radio as well, man. They've been open all week from 7 to 9. They ain't shut down because of the corona, the COVID and all that. They rockin' strong, you know what I mean?
Think we got a problem, but really it ain't though. It's one of me and these bitches, I count about 3, 4. Think we got a problem, but homie just all talk. He ain't gon' pop a balloon with a pitchfork. Nah, think we got a problem in the club with this dog. Rude boys, dogs, ladies, everybody.
Clap it up, clap it up. Man, I'm gonna give a big shout out to Delaware. You know what I mean? Delaware in the house, you know what I mean? The hospitality out here is insane. You know what I mean? We're gonna bring out a few things on Puerto Rico. We're gonna go into Ephraim tonight. You know what I mean? I'm waiting on Captain Oz. He'll be here in a minute. We got a brother live in Puerto Rico, man. I want to give a big shout out to Commander General Johanna for allowing us for us being here in the first place.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
All he put down and laid down in these cities, man. You know what I mean? To raise up these 12 tribes in righteousness, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to give a shout out to all Yahweh Shai. You know what I mean? First and foremost, for allowing us to go into this book and giving us this knowledge, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? To be able to break down these scriptures and address the situation that's pertinent to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. And to show how our ordeal and the things that we went through or we're going through have been affected us in the past.
That's right.
How it's affected us in the past and how it's still going on today, man. We're going to bring that down. We're going to do Ephraim, man. We're going to start with Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans, according to the Bible, are the tribe of Ephraim, man. And we stand on that, man. We stand on that. The 12 tribes chart that been laid down came out of the ISUPK, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We started it and we standing on it, man. We standing on it. And we're the only truth that's teaching it, only school, only anointed school that's been put forth to teach this truth, man.
That's right. Right.
So anybody else coming to you thinking that they got you learning the truth, they ain't teaching them but lies, man.
Right.
You understand? So let's go into it. Let's get it where we at. Let's go to Second King. Let's start from how it all started.
Come.
It all started. You know what? When you read the Bible, man. Now we breaking down the book of Joshua right now, who is an Ephraimite, who led the Israelites into the promised land. Well, we're going to break down how Ephraim and the 12 tribes, the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes in the northern kingdom, how they split off, and then because of idolatry,
Right.
the Lord sent them into captivity, man.
That's right.
And we're going to read that right now in 2 Kings, the 17th chapter, and start at the 18th verse.
Come.
Nice and loud.
Book of 2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 18. Therefore, the Lord was very wroth, very angry, with Israel.
The Lord was angry with Israel. We're talking about Israel, talking about the northern kingdom. You understand? He was angry with both of us, of course. We're both in captivity because of our disobedience. But right now, we're reading about the northern kingdom being torn away and sent into captivity. Read on.
And removed them out of his sight.
And did what?
And removed them out of his sight.
And removed Israel out of his sight. What does that mean? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Go ahead.
Come. He put them out of the land of Israel.
Right.
And well, later on he'll tell you they became not his people.
Right. Which means what? They was no longer a part of the covenant.
That's right.
They were outside of the covenant.
Come.
There was a time where Israel was gone. The 10 tribes were they were gone, sitting in captivity, and the Lord had no more was not dealing with them.
That's right.
He was dealing with Judah, Benjamin, and the ones that were left.
Come.
All the rest of them were out of his sight. Read on.
There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
That's what he's talking about. None left, meaning there was none that could receive the promises.
Right.
There was none that was left in the land that the Lord was dealing with.
That's right.
That the covenant, imagine that the tribe of Judah, they were the ones to receive the blessings of the Lord. They were done. The 10 tribes were done. It's gone. Read on.
Verse 19. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord.
Here we go. Judah didn't do they should have done, which was kept the commandments of the Lord. None of us did.
Right.
Read on.
But walk in the statutes of Israel which they made. Verse 20, and the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them
Uh-huh.
and delivered them into the hand of spoilers.
Here we go. The Lord afflicted them, punished them for the crimes they committed against the Lord, and delivered them into the hands of those that were spoiled them. Don't you ever forget that.
Right.
We are in the hands of spoilers, man.
That's right.
Those that will not help. The scriptures say they will not help you. You look for help for a nation that could not help you.
God.
You know what I mean? They can spoil you. They can see what you got.
Right.
Read on. If anybody got any questions, just raise their hand. We're going to get to the questions, you know what I mean? Bring it on out. Go ahead.
If I may, I can bring, if anybody got any questions in the chat, I can bring them up on the screen for you.
Yeah, please do. We're going to get the chat. You know what I mean? We'll deal with that too. Go ahead, read on. Give me some more.
Until he had cast them out of his sight. Verse 21.
Go ahead.
For he rent Israel from the house of David.
For he rent Israel from the house. We rip, like you rend your garment from the house of David. Read on.
And they made Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, king.
And listen, they went and made another king.
Right.
They made Jeroboam king. That wasn't the consent of the Lord. That's heavy. Because the Lord chose David. Right?
Come.
All right. Let's read on.
And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord.
And he made sure that the northern tribes did not obey the Lord. He made sure of that. And this is the beginning of what you see now. I mean, it happened before, of course. The things that led up to this, you know, the Israel being torn from the tribe of Judah and Ephraim.
Right.
During King Solomon.
Right.
You know what I mean? His sin. But now you're going to get into the bulk of it. Read on.
And made them sin a great sin.
Uh-huh.
Verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam.
Stop. That's what I want. They walked in the sins of Jeroboam. Jeroboam, man, was not a man of the Lord.
Right.
He did everything against the Lord. He did everything to make himself puffed up.
Right.
He wanted, instead of them to go down into Judah or go down into Jerusalem, he wanted them to stay on up in Israel and to give their allegiance to him there. Read on.
Which he did. They departed not from them.
They did what?
They departed not from them.
That's heavy. What does that mean? Somebody? Go ahead, sis.
Israel followed Jeroboam and what he was doing instead of what they were accustomed to doing. They allowed Jeroboam to persuade them to follow him.
Absolutely. Which means what? Which means right. It's okay. The sins that Jeroboam, the idol worship and all that Jeroboam made them do, it was hard for them to part from that. Which brings you to today. You know, they departed not from them. I mean, they was vested in this idol worship and this thing that Jeroboam put forth. That's heavy. So let you know what you're dealing with. Read on. Now the scriptures say Jeroboam departed from the Lord, that he made them to sin, and the sin that they did not depart from them. It was, read on.
Verse 23. Until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight.
There's the punishment. That makes you remember. Things get hard enough, you're going to remember when it was good. Oh, it was good when we was back then. When we had our land and we was prosperous before this captivity, you know what I mean? That's the only way you can do it. Read on.
As he had said by all his servants, the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
So the time this, of course, you know, when this was written, of course, Israel was carried away into Assyria. The Assyrians came, you know, there was somebody appeared at your doorstep to take you into captivity, to put you in jail, to make sure the crimes that you committed, you had to pay for them. It was a jailer. The jailer was named the Assyrians.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, let's see. I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna walk through this. I'm gonna wait for Captain Oz to get here. I'm gonna walk through this. I'm not gonna go too you know what I mean, too sudden into what I want to go into. But let's read in there. Anybody got any questions? Nobody. Everybody on point with what we saying. Anybody on line design one got any questions?
Let me check real quick.
Now, this is a heavy topic right here. No, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
If I may, sir, Assyria was the spoiler that the Lord delivered Israel into the hand of.
Give me the scripture where it says Assyria is my whipping. I'm paraphrasing, but he used Assyria to whip. Whip, you know what I'm talking about? Hey, Shalom. Y'all was with us. We got Captain Eye showing depth. You know what I mean? All right. You know what I'm saying? Assyria is my let me find it if I could. Let's see if I can find them. I'm not good with scripture. Any other questions?
I'm gonna do it from up top. Come on.
No questions? I want to get this one scripture where it says Assyria, the Lord used Assyria as his punishment to us.
We'll find it for you, sir. Again, we're gonna get it for you right now. On the chair.
Hey, Shalom.
We'll get it for you right
What's going on, Cap? Y'all should with how you feeling?
Let's turn the heat up.
All right. Let's do it. Isaiah 10. No, that's not it. Let's go to Isaiah 10 and 5. Is that it? Let me see what it's looking like.
Yes, sir.
The Lord used the Assyrians. That's it?
I believe so.
Okay, read it for me.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 5. O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against a hypocritical nation.
I will send him against a hypocritical nation. Read on.
And against the people of my wrath.
And against the people of my wrath. Who's the hypocrites? Who's the hypocritical nation that the Lord sent the Assyrians against? Go ahead, sis.
Israel.
You damn right. Give her a hand. You're the hypocrite. You say you took a pledge to go and obey the Lord, and then you do something else.
Right.
That's a hypocrite. You're supposed to be obeying the Lord, holding His commandments. What you doing? Okay. Read on. Where we at?
Come. Book of Isaiah, chapter 10, verse 6. Let's want me to go back to first.
No, read on. Finish where you at.
Come. And against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey.
You see that? The Lord said He was very angry with us you find back that what we just read. He said, I'm going to give them to take the charge, to take the wrath. You understand? Somebody give me the power of 2nd Ezra.
Yes, sir.
Let's go on there, man. We got to hurry up before bring this up to speed. You understand? So that we got the tribes that are taken into captivity in the Syrians. Go ahead, sis.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
No, don't be sorry. Let's hear your question.
What did you say, 2nd Esdras?
Yeah. 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, I believe. Yeah, you know exactly which one I want. I think we started at 40.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The book of 2nd Ezra.
So now, let's get the gist of what's going on. Salakia. Let's get the Let's get the gist of what's going on. We're on 2nd Ezra 13 and 40. Everybody there? All right, let's get it in. So now the Assyrians took the northern tribe into captivity. We fell underneath the Babylonians. Now you got to hit the history of Israel and why we in the condition we are in today. It's one that should be studied and studied with the understanding of who these tribes are. The ISUPK bringing out the truth of the Bible and letting us know who we are today and tracing this history. And this history is right on point. This is exact. Go ahead.
The book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter and the 40th verse. All right. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land.
Hold on, wait a minute. We read Joshua, and Joshua was an Ephraimite. The so-called Puerto Ricans are the tribe of Ephraim. Joshua was an Ephraimite, and Joshua gave them the land that the Lord appointed to them. But you know, when they went into captivity, they went to another land. I mean, went where we read right here to seek out something else for themselves. Read on.
Sir. Prisoners out of their own land. They
were prisoners in their land. They were prisoners. They were captives. Read on.
In the time of Osei, the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
Read on.
And he carried them over the waters. And so came they unto another land.
And they came to another land. There's another land they came to. A land when it was read on. Let's get some more.
Verse 41. But they took this counsel among themselves.
They came together and said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get away from these people, man.
Right.
Read on.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
They were going to leave the heathen. Why? Anybody know why? Go ahead.
Because they wanted to be free.
They wanted to be free. And also, what else does it tell you? Go ahead.
Start serving the Most High.
To start serving the Lord. Because why? I give it. Go ahead.
So like it, when we don't, we end up in captivity.
We end up in captivity. But what I want you to know is here's what a lot of people don't get from that scripture when the 10 tribes went to lead the heathens. They understood the laws of Moses. This is where they was in their right mind before in this side of the captivity. They understood that being around these heathens was going to cause their destruction. They understood they was not the same as these heathens. Now, when you examine Israel on this side, they think they're the same as the heathens. They think I'm African.
Right.
I'm what else they say they are?
African American.
They say African,
Negro,
Puerto Rican.
Well, Puerto Rican, right. Puerto Rican. They say they mixed with African, Puerto Rican, Taino, and something else.
Yeah, that if I may, right? Like in the Caribbean, when it comes to Ephraim, right? Because of the culture that's there, they always try to equate you part Spaniard, you part so-called African and you part native, right? Which is Taino, right? And that's a whole mix of it. We actually believe that. Like, you can't tell us we Israelites because that's foreign to us. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? And like today, the state of Ephraim, Simeon, Manasseh, heck, Levi and Benjamin in the Caribbean, we would never equate our lives to this right here. You know what I'm saying? Instead, we equate ourselves to whatever they labeled us. You know what I'm saying? And we've been dealing with a lot of hardship in the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? I know brothers here in America have been dealing with hell. But you can imagine it's something. I don't know if did you bring it up about the Jones Act?
I didn't bring up nothing. We finna go. We finna go in. I'm just bringing out how we got out of the land. Out of there, came on this side.
You know what I'm saying? But so, if I may, but over there, we suffer the same thing. Like there's like people don't understand. History repeats itself. It's like we're doing the same. Remember, the scriptures say there's no new thing under the sun. The only thing different is that we got cell phones on this side.
Right.
We got laptops and internet on this side. But it's hell. Any given time, it's the same thing. The suffering, the captivity, the oppression. You ever read that book, The Zealots?
You got to read that. I got to read that.
You got to read that.
I think I heard of something like that, but yeah. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir, if I may. I got a question about leaving verse 40 and going to the verse 41. At the end of verse 40, it says, and so they came into another land. And then it says in verse 41, but they took counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of heathens. Did they take multitude into captivity, or did they go into another land where no mankind dwelt after that captivity?
Excellent question. It was during the captivity they came together with the council that they would leave from amongst these people. And then they came up on this side of the earth. Meaning they came together, was like, okay, and here's the thing. They came together because they knew they were the same. It was like being in captivity, they understood their identity. That's big, that's heavy. Because on this side, they don't understand their identity. Although they know they belong with they got some kind of, you follow what I'm saying? Like he was saying, if you look at the DNA, that DNA is evil as hell, man. That DNA is evil as hell. It tells Puerto Ricans that they Africans, that they Spanish, everything they want to hear. It breaks it down to them. And you get that DNA from your slave master.
Right.
That's the number one thing. Who's been deceiving you, who has colonized you, destroyed your economy, wiped out your family, and here you are looking for some identity from that same man. That's insane, man, if you ask me. I don't understand how you do it. You want to be lied all over. And here's I mean, that's just a heavy topic. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
And the crazy thing is, we would rather hear that.
Right.
And if you come and you tell somebody with their true nationality, like, you're an Israelite, and that means something, we would rather be a Spaniard.
Right.
We would rather be African.
Because we've been brainwashed and been slaves for so long. The thing is this. Let me tell you something, man. The scriptures say the Lord does not lie. The Lord's word is true and faithful.
That's right.
The Lord ain't lying. This is a true book.
Right.
So now, if I decide this is a true book and something goes against what this book is saying, then they got to obviously be the liar. Or if I believe that they're truthful, then I got to believe this book is a liar.
Right.
Because it can't be both ways.
Right.
It can't be I believe in the Spaniards and what they're laying down and believe in the Bible. Because they're laying down something totally, even though it seems to me the same as the Bible, because I never really studied the Bible or I don't understand the Bible. They think that, you know what I mean, like in their mind, it is the Bible. They can't distinguish the two. That's why this is such a serpent. That's why we call it oppressor. Right. We don't say oppressor. We ain't gonna say
Right,
That's our
right.
oppressor. We call the oppressor the. Huh?
We weren't trained for that.
Yeah, I'm telling you that.
That was
We call him the serpent. Why? Because he's like a snake. He take the things of the Lord, and you. Here it is. The thing. This is the truth of the Bible. You know the Bible. We understand that the Bible is the truth. But he say, "Hey, I got the Bible, but this is what the Bible says," and he feeds it to you in a way that you start to believe. You believe what he's telling you instead of what the scriptures are saying. That's a snake.
Right.
You know what I mean? Go ahead,
If I may, Salaki, sir, you know, what you bring it out is so heavy. You know, one of the things that like in the world, one of my best friend, my brother in the world is a Ephraimite. You know what I mean? And one thing that I like about the so-called Puerto Ricans is that like their sense of brotherhood, their sense of like family. You know what I mean? Like like when we was like when like you know when a Puerto Rican go to jail, they good.
If you down, let me tell you something, man. If you down with Ephraim, man, they'll feed you before they feed themselves.
Right.
They that type of tribe, man. They the type of tribe to look out for you because you got that brotherhood. The problem is, here's the thing: they believe that the white man shares that brotherhood with them.
Right.
And we got to get Deuteronomy 7:3. Somebody grab that real quick because this is. I wanted to pull this because the white you got to understand. This is real heavy. That the scripts, the white man got these scriptures, and he knows what part in the scriptures he can deceive you at. You understand? Study the scriptures. Here you are just finding out the scriptures. Now here's people that have designed colonies off of who you are in the scriptures.
Right.
They didn't put you in slavery and knew what you was capable of doing. Knew your identity before you did.
Right.
You understand? Columbus came down here and knew this was the tribe of Ephraim. You understand? And kept them records, man.
Right.
He was they weren't dummies.
Right.
They didn't just grab any African off the shore and bring them down into the Caribbean and the West Indian, and the different islands, North, Central, and South America. They knew what they was doing. They kept, records of what they was doing, all their voyages and all that.
Yes, sir.
And as you go back and research history, you're gonna be like, damn, it couldn't have been the way that they fed it to us, because right here, how they set it up. How they know. Oh my gosh. I want to skip too far ahead. Go ahead, you had a question.
So like it, sir, I got a question on the book that Captain Posh just said. Is it The Zealots by G.K. Johnson?
Is that the book he's talking about?
Say it again.
Is the book The Zealots by G.K.
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
The Zealots by G.K. Johnson. I don't think I read that book.
I'm tell you, if I could, it's a must read. I'm telling you straight up and down. You want to understand America, you got to understand Rome. You got to understand Greece.
Yeah.
You got to understand that. Then you know where you're sitting at.
Right.
Just think, America encompasses all these great empires that once they came and went right here in America, and we've always been at the bottom.
You know what I mean? So and also you gotta here's another thing. You gotta study the what do you call it? The period of the councils. Before the religions was even bought, before Columbus bought Pelion, what's his name? Ponce de Leon. Ponce de Leon came, and all the Christopher Columbus with all his what do you call it? Those that was pushing that the religion, the
Catholics.
Yeah,
the monks, the Jesuits.
The Jesuits. That's who I want. The Jesuits. Those people had an agenda to brainwash and indoctrinate. You understand that?
Right.
Like you living good. You on an island. You living. You enjoying life. here's another nation coming to overtake you. And how they overtake you is to brainwash you and to brainwash your kids and to have you serve them and to put you in slavery and to take all your resources and everything that you got.
Right.
To wipe you out.
Right.
Wipe you out as a family, man. Right. What did Satan do? What did Satan do? I'm asking. What did Satan do when Adam, he came up to Adam? He went to what? Wipe his family out, didn't he not?
Right.
He went to Eve. He went and talked to that woman. What did he tell that woman? I got something for you that's better than what your husband got. And guess what? Satan is the white man. I mean, the oppressor, Salakia. The oppressor is Satan.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to find later on today in these, later on in the class, how he came and got your woman to do things to destroy you. You know what I mean? So that's all in the scriptures. We're going to bring that out, Lord allow. Read on, so give me some more. Where we at?
So did you want Deuteronomy 7:3 still?
Yeah, read that real quick.
Come. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
You see that? This is right here. Deuteronomy 7:3. It's how you keep your integrity.
Right.
How you keep the thing that's you. By not giving it over to another nation, man. That's what the Lord said. The Lord said not to make marriages with these heathen nations. You know why? You're going to see real in a minute. Read on.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
And listen, they make policy to make it possible for you to not to obey this law. They pushing it all over the place, man. They want to destroy you. That's destroying you all over again.
Right.
That's destroying you, your identity, not in another way. Because you get with this heathen, and now your cause is lost. It's no longer, I'm fighting for this. It's no longer I'm raising up black and Hispanic women. It's no longer I'm dealing with this, with these people. These are the people that Joshua and the other nation, the Lord told us to stay away from. You know what we had to go through in order to get our land, man? And we're going to just sit up here and act like it ain't nothing and just deal with these people like, you know what I mean? Like, everything is all right. We forgive them. Like, you was a traitor, straight up and down, man.
Right.
There's something wrong with your brain, man.
Right.
Your brain ain't right. You don't know what the hell is going. You like a Negro that came in the movie halfway through the movie. Don't know what happened in the beginning of the movie. You came in and then you forgive everybody for whatever. You don't even know what the hell you forgive for.
Right.
Silly Negro. A silly Negro that believe in Christianity. Imagine a white man injected Christianity in the middle of the movie and you don't know what happened in the beginning of the movie. And now the white man say, forgive and love everybody. You just walking around like not understanding what's going on in the earth.
Right.
Then you get the Bible and you get a brother to tell you, man, you shouldn't be walking in that way. You got to obey the Lord. You have to know what happened in the beginning of the movie so you can know what you're supposed to be doing right now.
Right. That's right.
Go ahead. Oh, you had your hand up.
Salakia, sir, and it really destroys the kids, with the interracial marriage because now these kids don't know who to love, who to hate.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times we've been at camp and Jake come up and say, well, how am I supposed to hate white people? My mom's white, or
right.
whatever.
Right.
Or how am I supposed to hate white people? My wife is white. And
Right.
you know, it just destroys us all the way around.
That's that DNA garbage. That DNA garbage pushes that. Like you parts of this and parts of that and parts of this, when that's all garbage, man.
That's
It's
right.
all a lie. You know what I mean? You are a part, of course, you know the man, the seed comes from the man.
Right.
That's right.
That thing that comes out of your rod is the seed.
That's right.
That you know what I mean, that the woman, she's the incubator. She's the one that receives. I'm putting it in layman's terms, goddamn it.
Yeah,
You gotta understand that thing that shoot out of you and goes into that woman, it goes and houses in that woman, and then gets big and strong, and then she pushes it out, which is your seed.
Right.
Anything else, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Come on, God.
That's why even the doctors will tell you that child is the lineage comes from the gender comes from the man.
Right.
The nationality comes from his father. Back in the day, a woman used to join. When you got a woman, she would assume your name so that the kids could assume your name to trace their identity back to their father. They don't do that no more now. But that's how it was. You be like, you get a woman, her last name don't mean nothing no more. It's your last name. She comes up underneath you. And then them kids come underneath you. They assume your name. So you say, that's my daddy. That's my, you say, this is my seed. It ain't like that no more, man. Now everybody mixed up. I'm 1%. Yo, I can't wait to get the questions. I can't get it on my Facebook. There's 1% Nigerian, 1% this, all that DNA garbage, man, that the white man is trying to spew to keep us confused.
Right.
The Lord said he's not the author of confusion.
That's
man.
right.
He's not the author of confusion. Like you confused, why? Because Satan got you confused. The man put the seed in that woman. That's who that man, you are the seed of that man.
That's right.
Now, I don't give a damn what that child look like. It can be a white, give me the scriptures on it, numbers. I think it's numbers 1 and 18. I don't give a damn what that child look like. That child can be blacker than you and me. If it's a seed of a white man, it's the white baby.
Right. That's right.
If it's a white man's father, it's a white baby.
Right.
Because it's his seed that he put in that that slave, usually. Go ahead, Tazama.
But if I may, you're so right, sir, because if a black man has a baby with a white woman, the white family already knows that baby's black.
Right. One time. That's what they doing with that old queen. What's her name? But she's not even black. I mean,
Right.
she's white, but they don't even want the black blood over in that. You know what I mean? They don't want none of your parts of you up in there nowhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the same one that got rich off of you. This is the same empire that enslaved you, got rich off of you. They don't want to have nothing. You see how racist they are.
Right.
You see how racist they are. Why you ain't racist?
Right.
When they racist as hell. Take leave from that goddamn queen. You know what I mean? She ain't racist for no goddamn reason.
Right.
She's a smart devil. You want to preserve her?
Captain Gunn said,
Right.
this is a team sport. It's like we better know what team we on. That's
Right.
That's
You
right.
better know what team you on, man.
Yeah.
White man gonna wipe you the hell off the goddamn face of the earth. You don't know what's going on. Like we're gonna go into the
Speaking of wiping us off the face of the earth, can I bring something up?
please do.
This is back in the day, right? In the 40s, there was this doctor by the name of Cornelius P. Rhodes, right? I'm gonna read a little bit about him and what he attempted to do in Puerto Rico. Okay, so it says Cornelius Packard, also known as Dusty Rhodes, was an American pathologist, oncologist, and hospital administrator who was involved in a racism and unethical human experimentation scandal and subsequent whitewashing in the 1930s. So in beginning in the 1940s, he served as director of the Memorial Hospital for Cancer Research in New York from 1945. Was the first director of the Sloan Kettering Institute and first director of the combined Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center for his contributions to cancer research. So, do you understand that chemotherapy? He's the one that they credited, right? They credited him with that, right? So, if I bring it down a little, as I'm going to, right? So it says during his early years with the Rockefeller Institute. Now, you know the Rockefellers was the ones who, at the time and probably even today, control the medical industry. Okay. So anyway, continue. So in the institute in the 1930s, Rose specialized in anemia and leukemia, working for 6 months in Puerto Rico in 1932 as part of the Rockefeller Foundation International Health Board contingent. During World War II, he worked for the United States Army, helping to develop chemical weapons and set up research centers. Research on mustard gas led to developments for its use in chemotherapy at Sloan Kettering, right? So everybody following, right? The doctor had a hand in also in chemical warfare. But let's get some good stuff for us to learn, okay? I gotta come back in Spanish because we got Officer Magana in Puerto Rico and give him a hand, you know what I'm saying?
Give him a hand. He online?
Yeah, he online.
Okay, yeah. What's up, bro?
He understand English, you know, but he dominated his speech in Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Now, he will kick it with you in English, he has with me. But this is something I'm going to have to bring it back in Spanish, which was simultaneously broadcasting on the two accounts. Okay? So it says in 1932, a letter Rose had written in November 30 of 1931, which disparaged Puerto Ricans and made claims which he referred to later as jokes. Follow, right? He had intentionally injected cancer cells into his patients. Was given by a lab assistant to Puerto Rican nationalist leader Pedro Albizu Campos. You know what I'm talking about?
The white man.
Right. He publicized the letter in the Puerto Rican American media, which led to a scandal and official investigation in the U.S. whitewashing campaign to protect Rose and, by extension, Rockefeller interests. Okay, so I want to see if I pull up that letter what he wrote. Okay, I remember he wrote it, quote unquote, a joke, right? But here's what the letter should say. Let me see something. So here's the scandal. I'm gonna read the letter, right? So this is in 1931, right? He was in Puerto Rico, right? He actually was staying in this town called Sidra, okay? But this is his letter, right? He wrote to a person named Ferdy, which is Fred W. Stewart, a colleague from Boston, by then working at the Memorial Hospital for Cancer Research in New York, right? So this is what he wrote to that dude. Dear Ferdy, the more I think about the Larry Smith appointment, the more disgusted I get. Have you heard any reason advanced for it? It certainly is odd that a man out with an entire Boston group fired Wally. And as far as I know, absolutely devoid of any scientific reputation should be given the place. There is something wrong somewhere with our point of view. So I'm going to skip down for time's sake. All right. So it says the situation is settled in Boston. Parker and I are to run the laboratory together with Keith and McMahon to be assistant to chief to say on. As far as I can see, the chance of getting the job in the next 10 years are absolutely nil. One is certainly not encouraged to make scientific advances when it is handicapped rather than an age to advance. I could get a damn fine job here and tempted to take it. It will be ideal except for the Puerto Ricans.
So now he's saying from what point? He's saying, just to make it clear,
right?
He's saying from he could get if it wasn't for the natives of the land.
Right. So at this point, you see, he's just saying that he's going to get a better job, right, if he stood in Puerto Rico. But here's what he said about Puerto Ricans, right? They are beyond doubt the dirtiest laziest, most degenerate, and thievish race of men ever inhabiting this sphere. Sounds familiar? Yeah, what, you know what I'm saying? If somebody can get me the scripture that says both Ephraim and Judah, right? Where it says, and both of them shall be oppressed together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue. It makes you sick to inhabit the same island with them. And excuse me, they are even lower than Italians. So he's even degrading another Edomite tribe. You know what I'm saying? The Italians. What the island needs is not public health work, but a tidal wave or something to totally exterminate the population. Damn. Okay. It might be then livable. I have done my best to further the process of extermination by killing off 8 and transplanting cancer into several more. Okay? The latter has not resulted in any fatalities so far. The matter of consideration for the patient's welfare play no role here. In fact, all physicians take delight in the abuse and torture of the unfortunate subjects.
Get out of here.
Okay, so he was enjoying his job.
That was it's Jeremiah 50 and 33.
Okay.
You got it?
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
So you understand, right? The children of Israel, which was set up in the north, and the children of Judah. This all happened after Solomon. Everybody follow, right? Right? Keep going.
Were oppressed together.
Were oppressed what?
Together.
What?
Together.
You understand? And here, we being oppressed together.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We're both getting thrown in the prisons. We're both being targeted by these eugenic groups.
That's
you know what I'm saying? We're both being incarcerated for damn near to no reason and being shot on live social media today, right now. That's how they felt about us back then. Ain't nothing changed, just a time frame.
That's right.
You understand? We're being oppressed together. The Lord said that this was going to happen. Now go ask your fellow Christians out there if they see the same thing.
Right.
Go ask them, your fellow Muslims if they see the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not. They're not, because they too, like if I have to say it, but they too their heads is too stuck up the oppressor's backside.
That's right.
That right there is gold for them, but it ain't gold for us. We're being oppressed together. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't nothing new. This happened in the 30s. It still happened in 2021.
That's right.
If you don't believe me, just stay tuned. Keep watching your social medias. Keep turning on your CNNs and CNBCs. You know what I'm saying? Keep following. You will see more of us die, and die on live TV, die on live PD. What's they called? Live PD.
Right.
You'll see this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it's not Pedro, it's gonna be somebody, some brother in Judah. If it's not one, it's gonna be some brother, some Gadite, some Reubenite. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be one of us. It's gonna be all of us. If we don't have the Lord on our side, man, we're gonna be exterminated.
That's the key.
You know what I'm saying?
That's the key right there. To have the Lord on your side, man, to win the Lord's favor.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't do this on your own, man. There's no way in the hell you're gonna do this on your own. If you think you're gonna be able to do this on your own, you're a fool.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Lord put you in captivity. The Lord anointed his king to get you out of captivity, man. The Lord said, turn to him, become new. You know what I mean? Change your ways, amend your ways. Stop doing the evil you was doing. The Lord said that. You know what I mean? And it's heavy because, you know what I mean? Without the brothers and sisters in the ISUBK, man, I wouldn't even be here, man.
Right.
I wouldn't be here, man, if it wasn't for Commander General Yohana.
That's right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't be here. I heard the voice of the Lord when the brother spoke and said, come here. It told me to come here. And I looked at myself like, am I the only one hearing this? Everybody beside me didn't hear what I was hearing. It is not here. You know what I mean? But it's heavy what what Captain Oz was bringing out, man. He bringing out something, man. The way these devils think about you.
Right.
The way they think about you, man. You better wait. You better come up out of that brainwashing tool he got to use to make you think that you are part of something while you dying and suffering on the bottom. You think you equal with the white man and all the other nations.
Right.
Are you out your goddamn mind?
God.
Like the white man ain't read this Bible. I mean, sorry, the oppressor. The oppressor ain't read The oppressor ain't read this Bible and find out all about you just by happenstance.
Right.
He read this Bible and knew who he was targeting.
That's right.
He knew he had watched you. Can you imagine the Romans sitting upon our people, putting our people on crosses that revolted against Rome, putting Judah and the ones that was in the land, and then watching how they conduct their lives, watching them, watching how they serve the Lord in the temple, watching this zealot people, this people for the Lord. I mean, not like we should have been, of course, you know what I mean? Because, there was some people that went out and married the white man. That shows you by you marrying the white man and bringing them in your area, showing them all about you, that you ain't really, you waiting to be overtaken. The white man look for any way that he can get in. Go ahead, you got a question?
Sir. So when it comes to Cornelius P. Rhodes, so he was injecting the Ephraimites with cancer and then giving them chemotherapy, or trying to, see what the cancer does to their bodies, and like how was he calling the father of?
Okay, I'm just gonna, because based on what I read today, how he got the chemotherapy going was because he, at the time after this, right? After this, he enlisted in the military, and they gave him because he was a doctor in the military, right? So they gave him charge to deal with chemicals, right? So at the time they were using mustard, right? The mustard gas, right? So the experiment was to see how long they could people could last in certain conditions when this type of gas was around people, right? So what they did, they had an area, an island. I forgot the name of the island, where they sent a group of military men there, right, to do what they called a live training, okay. And in this live training, they started spraying this mustard gas. What it does is it put boils on your skin, and it burns you, right? And guess who were the military men that they sent? Puerto Ricans. A regime of Puerto Ricans just to test on that. It couldn't be nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't be one of theirs. It couldn't be, something. It couldn't, they tested on us. And of course, I'm pretty sure there was Judites in there too as well. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of them were Puerto Ricans, So after he came out the military, he kept his studies, and they gave this guy high recognition in different corporations, to the point where they credit him now with being the one who came up with the chemotherapy based off of that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, he happily did that because he was already trying to kill Puerto Ricans. All right.
Any questions? That was it?
Come on, concert.
No sign question. You got a question in the back? Huh?
You want me to finish that verse?
Please read. Finish.
Come on, concert. And all that took them captives held them fast.
They held them fast, meaning your captivity, you can't get right now. They're holding you fast. You can't get out of captivity right now.
Right.
You think you believe you really get out of captivity by retreating to another nation or whatever? That ain't gonna happen. You're gonna be a captive amongst whatever nation you go into.
Right.
You understand? Read on. Go ahead.
They refuse to let them go.
They don't want to let you go. Why don't they want to let you go? Go ahead.
So sir, because whenever they have us in captivity, we always build up those nations.
That's right. Give them a hand. You make them rich, man. You the richest resource on the face of the earth, man.
That's right.
your talent, your rap, the things you do, your what else? What do you say?
We're the cash cow of America.
That's right.
We're the cash cow of all these empires.
You got rap, you got jazz, you got blues, you got everything that has ever been good in America comes from you.
Yep.
So we don't square dance. I don't think we ain't claiming that cause. But seriously, man, we the ones. The white man, the oppressor knows that you are, what the Lord calls what Christ said, you are the salt of the earth. They know that, so they hold you fast. Meaning you might build yourself up and overtake them one day. So they would think, what do you say when you sit up on the 12 tribes of Israel? That's a little later on. Read on.
If I could,
go ahead.
If I could, I'd go ask Kanye West if he's held fast.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he can't get out of his country until he dies. And that brother got a little issue upstairs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He got a little issue upstairs, but he got to be under that contract for the rest of his life, which is a sad case.
And that brother got that issue because he in that marriage, man. Oh, Lamar, what's that brother? Odom, Lamar. Yep. He's still trying to get that devil back. He trying to get that devil back, boy. He want that white devil, boy, to destroy him even more. Right. He ain't been destroyed. Yeah, you think you will learn your lesson,
right?
By being in a relationship and you messed up and destroyed, and then you go back and try to revive that same relationship again. Something's mentally wrong with you, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
If I could. This is why it's so important that every Black and Latino, Native American Indian come up under Command General Hunter in the ISUPK. Because you want to learn how to deal with oppressors. Well, we got the class. It's called Stay Away from Them 101. We got the class. We've been having it since 1969.
That's why I want to read this Deuteronomy 7. Who got that Deuteronomy 7? Please read that, because this is a strong scripture for Ephraim, but for all the tribes.
That's right.
For all the tribes. Because Moses, who was a man of God, read this scripture, said this. You can't deny Moses. I don't give a damn what you try, what you say. If Moses laid it down, he laid them curses down. You see how them curses are, right?
That's right.
So how you want to deny Moses?
Right.
You understand? Joshua came underneath Moses, God damn it. You see all the great works Joshua did.
That's right.
You can't deny Moses, man. And this is what Moses said. Read it.
God. Start the top again.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 7:3. Top.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Read a verse above that.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee.
Here's the nations that were delivered before us. Why? Why were they delivered before us? Anybody know? To make them. Okay, go ahead.
You said, why were the other nations delivered up before us?
Right.
So, like, yeah, I'm kind of. Are you saying, like, why were they delivered while we were around them?
No, why was the other nations delivered before us? He said, even when the Lord thy God should deliver them before thee.
To show that the Lord is with us. Like they're delivered before us because of our obedience.
But it's a little bit more than that. Read on. Go ahead.
So like it, sir, when the Lord delivers them up to us for us to destroy it.
You damn right.
Right.
That's the key. It wasn't delivered them before them to say, okay, some of the tribes took them and made them captives, right? But right here, the Lord was like telling them to kill these nations when you go into that land. Why? Because the Lord don't want them nations in that land. That's your land. You're supposed to occupy that land. Nations can be outside of that land. You understand? But that land was supposed to be, but guess what? We didn't do it. So there was nations in our land. Even though they was outside of our land too, they was in our land. Some of us thought, hey, we can make these nations slaves. But that's not what the Lord said. Read on.
Thou shalt smite them.
You said what?
Thou shalt smite them.
What does smite mean? To kill them. Kill them. That harsh? Kill them. Don't have no pity on them.
Right.
Read on.
And utterly destroy them.
And utterly. Totally.
That's right.
That's what the Lord said. Utterly. Totally. Total destruction. Read on.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Don't even try to decide you want to, you want to try to talk to them and, come to some conclusion or whatever. It's a lot of, don't do that. Don't make no covenant with them. Obey what the hell I'm telling you. Read on.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Don't show them no mercy. Yeah, as I say, God is a God of mercy. Show no mercy to these goddamn heathens, man. They don't show no goddamn mercy to you.
Right.
They wipe you out, take all your belongings, take your family, destroy, kill your kids, and you talking about some goddamn mercy. You ought to show the goddamn other nations something sick in your head. Drugs. I ain't getting drugs. Do drugs in your neighborhood? Guns to destroy you, wiped you out as a nation, man. And you telling me you should show some mercy. I'm through with it, man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. God got the recipe. You don't.
That's right.
Read on.
Come, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
You ain't supposed to. Can you imagine laying down with a nation that destroyed your nation?
Right.
What kind of and what do you call them when you lay down when a woman lay down a bed wench? What kind of bed wench? That's the name, bed wench. What kind of bed wench are you laying down with the goddamn white man? Here's the white man in total power over your nation, and you laying down with him as if you on equal playing terms, equal terms or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? You the what you got? Ah, shit.
Can I have one in there?
Go ahead, please get it in.
If you're in a Christian church serving white Jesus, you a bedwench yourself.
That's right.
I'm saying if you in the Muslim mosque serving Allah, you a bedwench yourself.
Right.
That's the reality. That's why he told them to smite them, get rid of them, because if we make marriages with them, we destroy them. Look at us.
That's right.
Look at us. We all up in the churches. Yes, but like,
no, please go.
We all up in the churches. We serving their gods. You know what I'm saying? But, and at the same time, forgetting our people. Not giving a damn about our people. That's what it do. Laying down with them, serving their gods, it makes us forget us to take care of us, man. Thank God for the ISUPK.
That's right.
That's right. Damn right. Those are right. And I'm gonna say, look at so-called Puerto Rico. Look at that. Look at it. The Roman Catholic Church, they pushed their ideology and their religion up in that island, and they laying with white people. That's what the scriptures say it. What does the scriptures say? Ephraim is a king, 7 and 9, I think.
Yeah, Hosea, 7 and 7. Yeah.
One of them.
In the book
they laying with that white man, and the Ephraimites got. And look how destroyed they are. Look how wiped out they are. Look how much the white man have pushed this. I ain't get into it right now.
Hosea 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
Yep.
I'm gonna get into the
some juicy right here.
I got some.
Whenever you ready, Captain.
But please read Hosea 7.
Hosea chapter 7, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Ephraim, he has mixed himself among the people.
You see that? That's our brothers, the tribe of Ephraim, the so-called Puerto Ricans. The scriptures say they go over the wall. There's another scripture.
Genesis 49.
This is 49. They go over the wall, meaning the wall is there for protection. That wall is to protect you from the other people.
That's right.
But you go over the wall to join the other people. And you mix yourself amongst them, And guess what? You cried, not knowing how you got in that state.
Right.
All messed up, man. All your family all destroyed. You ready to come back now, because now you understand what the Lord been saying from the get-go.
Right.
Read on.
Come on, come. Ephraim is a cake, not turned.
And y'all know about them cake not turned, meaning they got Ephraimites coming dark with light skin. A lot of people got a problem with Ephraim.
Dark and light skin.
That's right. Most I ain't he can jump in whenever you want. Jump in whenever you want, bro. We hear you. We got you.
Can I add to that also? Read it one more time.
Come on, come. Hosea chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he has mixed himself among the people.
Because Ephraim also was the head tribe of where? Go ahead. Yeah, raise your hand the next time. Yeah, but she's right. You know what I'm saying? And in the northern kingdom, what tribes you had? Go ahead.
Gad, Ephraim, Simeon, Reuben,
right?
Asher,
right?
Naphtali,
right?
Salak,
Issachar, right?
Zabalawan,
right? They've also done it too, because Ephraim being the head, right? They follow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Go ahead.
Ephraim is a cake, not turned.
So now you got light-skinned Mexicans and you got dark-skinned Mexicans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got light-skinned natives, and then you got brothers like Knock. So the dark-skinned native.
That's right.
So that applies there too.
Because a cake not turned is like, there's a cake, you bake it, right? And on the bottom of it is brown. But the top of it ain't. Because it ain't turned yet to get the top brown. So it's a cake not turned, meaning the bottom of it is dark and the top of it is light. You can't, like, so many people, man, there's so many scriptures in the Bible that tell you the Israelites are not just one shade, man.
Right.
Like, it's some simple Negroes pushing that ideology all over, you know, trying to say that Israel is just dark skinned or whatever. That's a lie, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, knock you at a question.
Yeah, if I could. And it's sad because our people got an issue with colorism.
Right.
You got to be a color like the Vietnamese guys I was working with today. Right. I was like, yo, give me that box. He was like, nah, that's my box. I was like, it's because I'm black, right? And he was like, I'm yellow. And I was like, it's like you gotta be a color. Like you gotta be yellow, white, some color. Like
right.
You can't just be who you are.
That comes from the white man.
Yeah.
Right.
He classifies everybody as color. Like, can you imagine this oppressor coming out of the caves? He's using the class system to put everybody in to make them feel inferior to him. You know what I mean? I'm yellow, I'm black, I'm this, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, when you examine Ephraim's history, they set up, man, check this out, man. Let me see if I can get it right. Oh my goodness. They set up, whereas if you're light skinned, you get better benefits than the dark skinned slaves. So a lot of Ephraimites claim to be white or light skinned. They had a thing. Oh man, I gotta bring it out. I can't even remember what's the name. They had. Oh man, I gotta bring this. I gotta find it
If I could, right?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, who has heard about the history of Puerto Ricans in Hawaii? Anybody heard of that?
No,
y'all don't even know that. But just to touch real quick, I'm gonna bring it up, but just to touch quick. Even in there, you had the light-skinned Ephraimites trying to get better benefits than the dark-skinned Ephraimites in Hawaii because they thought, since I'm light, well, I got better, opportunities. They found out the hard way. You nigga too. Stay the rest of you. Hey, I'm telling you, in Hawaii, they treated us like we was picking cotton. Feel that for a second. And these were done by American sugar plantation owners, sugar cane plantation owners, man. I'm gonna bring out something heavy. I got, I'll read this to you. You're gonna see one of the famous brands that we buy at the supermarket every day has a dark history with the Puerto Ricans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like something incredible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want me to bring this right here.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Please.
There's this article, something I was looking into, broke my head just to try to find this information, but I started reading. I was like, damn, I gotta talk about this. But this is called the state of Puerto Rico, right? Okay, the state of Puerto Rico. In 1898, immediately after the Spanish-American War, there was a devastating hurricane, but it was called Santiago, right? That destroyed the island's entire coffee crop. Now, coffee, was one of those crops that we could, I don't want to say export like that, but we could put it on American ships to get sold somewhere else. And that's another thing we'll have to bring up about the Jones Act. Okay, and so on top of it, it left tons of people, thousands of Puerto Ricans homeless, which essentially ruined the Puerto Rican economy. Being that the island of Puerto Rico was now under U.S. colony, was a U.S. colony or territory.
So,
go ahead.
If I could. So y'all understand about the Spanish-American War. I don't know if I remember bringing the light on this. Okay. The Spanish-American War was America went to war with Spain because it's like, okay, how can I say it?
Can I add something? Because I'm about to say it's important.
Okay, go ahead.
Spain, just right before the Spanish-American War, granted Puerto Rico somewhat of an independent state. They still be under rulership of Spain, but now they're allowing native Puerto Ricans to have their own political system and their own economic system. Weeks later, the Spanish-American War started. So now after that war, what happened was that they ceded every territory that Spain had, which included the Philippines, Cuba, and Puerto Rico.
Right. If I could, real quick. Now, the Spanish-American War was America looking at the properties, looking at the everything, and knowing that Spain was not as strong, was a weaker. Imagine you. Okay, how can I say it? Imagine you, a bully, and you see a weaker bully. He's a bully now, but he's a weaker bully, and you can take his territory, and he got something that you want. They watched the islands. They watched Puerto Rico. They knew the land was fertile. Well, the scriptures tell you that. The scriptures tell you that Ephraim will be in fertile land because you read. That's why you got to know the Bible.
Yep.
Right. That's why you got to know the Bible. Because why? Give me one scripture where he said that Ephraim will be in a fertile. Deuteronomy 33, I think it is.
By the well?
That one too, but it's another one, Deuteronomy 33. Go ahead.
Moses was giving them the
yes, that one,
blessing.
And the one well, because you got to understand this. They knew they had our scriptures, man. You understand? They knew that Ephraim, that the oppressor knew that this land was fertile. I could use this land. This land is good for a sugar. Tobacco. What else he had? Sugar, tobacco. What else he had? Coffee. Go ahead.
Like chocolate.
Chocolate, which the sugar make. Cut. And they knew this, man. And let me tell you something else, by the way. Let me tell you something about the oppressors. If I could. The oppressor set up shop in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Right.
Y'all know about the plantation. I don't know if y'all know that history or not. I can go ahead and break it down to you.
Okay.
But they went there already on some we're gonna make money type stuff. You know what I mean? They knew that land was fertile to bring them that dividend they needed. Where did they get that knowledge from?
It fell out the sky.
Where did they get the knowledge from? I'm asking you. Go ahead. Who got that? Somebody got their hand up? Go ahead.
Scriptures.
You got the scripture?
Carnival Council.
Okay, hold on the scripture for a second. Where did they get the knowledge from? They had that knowledge before. Now, you mean to tell me the white man come out the caves, he know how to cultivate land better than you? Thank you. He got it from. Oh man. Oh, so I can't. We might have to do a part 2 on
That's
this.
what I told you.
We might have to do a part 2 on this joint right here.
This is, see,
I mean, this is heavy,
if I
man.
could, Captain, you don't understand. This is we're talking about the first colony
Right.
of the New World. So
Right.
it is the oldest colony in the New World. I don't know if y'all know that. But if you didn't, today you do know.
You know it now.
Yep.
You know. I'm gonna tell you something else, man. I'm gonna have to bring this out a little later. Was it might be a little. Go ahead if I could.
Can I use the precept? We teach the wicked one our ways.
Yes, absolutely.
Jeremiah.
That's an excellent scripture, man.
Yep.
Because you know why? Now think about this now. Here, this is one for the Passover right here. This is one for the Passover. When the Lord came through, and remember the plagues he put on Egypt, it didn't affect your crops. Your livestock didn't get affected.
That's right. Right.
Why? What was the Lord doing? Go ahead.
He was making a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
More than that. I mean, that's right. I mean, you right. I'm not saying you're wrong. But what was he doing? Imagine the Egyptians' crop get this. Remember the locusts? He said the locusts. I think it was a locust. Yeah.
And you remember you brought it up some years ago?
Yeah,
he sent them a plagues according to their gods.
According to their gods. The Lord plagued Egypt according to their gods. If you look at all the praise that he put on Egypt. That's a little history. But now, he said the locusts, and what is he doing to the Egyptians? Remember, Joseph was the key to saving them damn heathens. Come on, y'all.
If I could.
No,
so just real quick. I'm just write these things down, brother. I just don't listen to them. Write them down. You too in Puerto Rico. Because allá, they're going to be like, mira, que si esto lo otro. You're going to have to be like, mira, ra, ra, ra. Como si te entiendes. You're going to have to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? They're going to come at you. It's like, go ahead, Kev.
Okay, go ahead. Somebody had who had go ahead.
Was he humbling Egypt and Pharaoh?
He was definitely humbling them. But what was he doing to the Egyptians? Go ahead.
Oh God, if I may. So he was destroying their gods.
He was destroying their gods. You're absolutely right. But give me more. What was the Egyptians' fate when the Lord did this? Go ahead.
Was he judging the Egyptians?
Oh! Of course he was judging the Egyptians. But what was their fate? I'm going to have to give it to you. Anybody online?
Nobody got it.
Go ahead.
Their fate was death.
He was, okay, I got to give it to you. He was bringing you up. Remember the Lord said, I make rich and I make poor.
Right.
The Lord showed the Egyptians favor with Joseph coming in and raising Egypt up. And now he's showing you favor by destroying the Egyptians' crops, destroying the Egyptians and raising. Now imagine if I'm an Egyptian. I got no crop. Where I got to go get food? Where I got to go? That's a big come up, ain't it?
Right. If I could answer this, if I may, en Puerto Rico, sí, como mira, este número que tú quieres llamar en Puerto Rico, te lo voy a dar. Prepárate, déjame escribirlo aquí. Because the brother's asking, as a brother, he's asking, are we set up in Puerto Rico? La respuesta es sí. Okay, he's asking, we set up in Puerto Rico? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
So let me give him the telephone we need to call.
God.
All right, good. So you
got to feel that, man. He destroying the Egyptians, and then you are the ones that the Lord have favor on. You the ones that the Lord have favor on. Because why? Your God is the Lord, not these other gods, which is heavy when you think about Puerto Rico. Like the gods of these other nations is what destroys your crops. There's the crops in Puerto Rico, the sugar cane and the tobacco and the what else they got in the
mangoes, bananas, coconuts.
Man, there was something else they get real. Their crops got destroyed by the Lord, but it was another locust. It wasn't the locust that the Lord used on it. This locust was men. Men came over there and destroyed the crops. Go ahead, that's
No, it was just if I may, sir, Salaki. It was like I was reading an article where the top weed companies, dispensaries in America, they annexed Puerto Rico. Like Puerto Rico is where they have their crops at, the majority of their crops for the weed business in America today.
Damn, I didn't know that. That's heavy. That's heavy. That's crazy. Go ahead.
That should be no surprise. I'm sorry.
But it's heavy to me because, you know what I mean, that shows they got some knowledge that, like, when they went to go and find out, them white people did meticulous studies on the land and where they could grow these certain crops. You can't grow sugar cane anywhere. You can't grow tobacco anywhere. It got to be a certain, the land got to be fertile. You got to have a mass quantity of land, first of all. You can't just have you know what I mean, got to be a quantity of land. I'm sure in Puerto Rico, certain parts of the island don't get, the weather is not the same in every part of the island. So you got to know when you gonna be able to, I mean, this is stuff that they had to understand before they came in the zone. They knew this. You feel how meticulous this was? It wasn't like nobody stumbling and like, man, let's just do this. No, they took down meticulous records and they knew what they wanted. And they knew who the people were.
Right.
Go ahead, if you could.
Come on, concert. Deuteronomy chapter 33 and 13. And of Joseph, he said, blessed of the Lord be his land.
You see that? This is Deuteronomy. This is Moses. Blessed of the Lord be his land. Read on.
For the precious.
No, read the 33 and 1.
Come on,
is it 33 and 1? I think it is. Go ahead.
33 and 1. Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death.
You see that? He's talking about Ephraim. They're the children of Israel.
Right.
Before his death, he blessed them. And he said, what? Skip down to Ephraim.
Come on, concert. Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 13.
Go ahead.
And of Joseph, he said.
Joseph, let me just say something.
Come on, concert.
On that. Joseph, y'all know about Joseph. Joseph was the man that, Joseph was the one that brought us into Egypt because of his, second being viceroy to Pharaoh. You know what I mean? Second in command. Where's the scripture where it says nobody would approach to Joseph unless it was, they had admitted. You can't just come up to Joseph. You had to have special, charge to come to Joseph. That's how high up he was. And he said, what? Blessed be what?
Blessed of the Lord be his land.
Go ahead.
For the precious things of heaven, for the dew, and for the deep that coucheth beneath.
Oh, what's the deep? Hold on, wait a minute. For the dew and the deep that coucheth beneath. What are we talking about? Go ahead.
Like the soil?
Yeah, the dew and the deep. The deep is what I'm talking about.
Okay. If the dew is like every morning when you wake up in Puerto Rico, there's always that dew you see on the mountains range. And that dew causes vegetation to grow. You know, it's like the blessing and the deep, meaning the clear waters.
Right.
Like over here, the waters are so murky, you don't know what's at the bottom.
Right.
But you go to Puerto Rico, not only is the water warm, you actually can see your feet. You see fish.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like you feel like you in heaven.
Right. It's so beautiful, man. It's such a beautiful place, man. It's nostalgic. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like you go in there, and you see the mountains and you see the water. And this is like you just overcome. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Except for La Playa, it's rusty over there.
What?
La Playa, what's it called? La Perla?
La Perla?
La Perla, like
Yeah.
right there in the hood in Condado.
Yeah.
They separate it right there. That's,
We'll leave that one alone.
it's perfect.
Read on.
Come, verse 14. And for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun.
Oh man, what is the fruits of the land? The mangoes, the bananas. Where's the fruits? Coconuts.
You got fruits that they don't even sell here. There's a fruit called a hobo. It's like this green fruit. When you bite into it, it's like a beige type of color. It's so good, man. Of course, the passion fruit, everybody's heard of that, right? Y'all have heard of the tropical acerola, which is a tropical cherry. Have anybody had that? Man, oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, y'all don't know, man.
Read on some more.
Come, and for the precious things put forth by the moon.
Come on, no, you got it.
At nighttime in Puerto Rico, in Puerto Rico, there's several things that happen, right? Like during the daytime, there's this cactus-like plant, right? That during the daytime, it just looks like some cactus plant, right? But at nighttime, there's this beautiful flower that sprout out. Also, have you ever seen a fluorescent fish? Illuminating fish. You see that in Puerto Rico, the shores of Puerto Rico. You see trees in Puerto Rico. I didn't believe this until I first went there. My first mate was like, you know this? She even pointed out, you see this tree here? This tree at nighttime whistles. Literally whistles. And if you stab it, and if you stab it, right, you cut it, the sap looked like blood. But I didn't believe it. But she said, come over here. She one day took me at nighttime. And she put me next to the tree, and you hear. I was like, "Wow, that's amazing!" It just amazed me. And the other, the coquí.
I was saying,
little frog.
I was gonna say the coquí, man. You took it.
Yeah, listen, no, coquí is native to Puerto Rico. Now they got them in Hawaii, they got them in California only because of the ships that come to and fro.
And because of what the so-called Ephraimites are living.
No, it was the oppressor. The devil who wanted to do it, take these frogs that are native to Puerto Rico and take them elsewhere. Right. Everybody else hates them, but in PR, man, you can go to bed with that sound. It's nighttime music. You hear that? Every loud no. Yeah, you see? Straight up and down.
He on that. Y'all got him on that. Put him on that.
Yeah.
You're not on them.
I'm gonna raise the volume so you can hear him. Si quieres sacar un punto, dilo. En inglés, si puede.
One heavy point. Both of you captain. One heavy point. It was about Ephraim and Judah got the same curse. For example, in America, black woman got the infatuation with the weed, right?
The weed.
Yeah.
That's a problem,
Yeah, check this out.
Over here, some Puerto Rican woman got the infatuation with the blonde hair.
You hear that?
Oh.
In Puerto Rico, the sisters, they so infatuated with blonde hair. We call them pharmacy blondes. Because they're gonna go get Miss Clairol from the pharmacy. If they see it.
So yeah,
Yep.
They want to live like the oppressed, you know.
Right.
That is my point.
That's right.
Both Ephraim and Judah, they got that patriotism with that hair.
Yep.
With the yellow hair and the wheat.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's get a scripture on that. That it's a curse. Remember it said that it with the blind. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Desire Wine. Let's just bring that out real quick.
He raised the hand, Kevin.
Oh wait, so who got it? Huh?
Did you want the
Yeah, that's it. Who raised their hand? Huh?
He was him, sir.
It was not okay. Yeah, we just gonna get that scab of the crown. We're gonna show that blonde hair is a curse according to the Lord. Go ahead, Desire One, read it.
It's Leviticus 13, verse 30.
Leviticus 13 and 30. Check this out.
Khan. Leviticus chapter 13, verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague.
Go up above it.
Khan. Sorry.
That's all right.
All right. 29. Okay, Khan. The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or beard.
Here's a plague. Something that is that's something that's outside of our nations. Here's a plague that come on your head. Read on. Or your beard. It can come on your beard too. Read.
Khan, verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague.
Here's you go before the priest. And he sees the plague. Read on.
And behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin.
That meaning that plague is something that's routed inside your skin. It ain't something that just showed up halfway through your beard or your hair or whatever. It's inside your skin.
That's right.
Read on.
And there be in it a yellow thin hair.
A what?
Yellow thin hair.
A what?
Yellow thin hair.
A yellow thin hair. Meaning our hair is thick.
Right.
But here's a hair growing out your beard, and it's thin, and it's coming from out the root of your beard. It's thin. It's thinner than the rest of your head. It's like you know how like that thin hair like to lay to the side and all that. You can do what you want. Our hair, you got to comb this joint to activate, but their hair, it just lays. It's so easy to. You know how they do this. Let me give you a good shot of it. They do that so easy with their hair, right?
Right.
Read on.
Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
The priest pronounced that goddamn wavy hair you got in your head
unclean.
Unclean. Get away from us. I want to see that hair get nappy. I want to see that hair. I want to see him. Don't give me that. Don't come out waving. Look, they didn't wave their head in front of the priest. They be like, you like me, priest? They be like, get on out of here. You unclean. You know what? Go ahead.
That's so heavy too, because he said unclean, like what? Like piss. Piss is unclean. Imagine you going through life with the piss colored hair. You know what I'm saying? Looking all nasty and stuff, man.
Woo, man, that is a shame before the Lord, man. You come waving that old crap. And we just see that in this Christian society, you just seen our women wave that hair. But they think it's something, it's a come up.
Right.
It's a come up. Because they acting like somebody outside of themselves. They acting like somebody they want to be. Because that's how they program to think. And so are the so-called Puerto Ricans. They are programmed to think that way because of the Roman Catholic Church.
Right.
The Roman Catholic Church pushes the ideology of white people.
Right.
This is the white. I can't even tell.
White supremacy.
You want me to sit here and tell you about it? It'll be all night long.
Right.
White supremacists. Everybody's white. Everybody's white. White is right, and who you are is not right.
Dark is dangerous.
You know what I mean? And that's against the Lord, man.
That's
But
right.
because the Lord said these devils, these oppressors.
Maybe you want
I don't
to
want
say
the
it.
class. Leave the class and get a little.
If I could. Now, you Israelites who so happen to have Edomite mothers and came out from
Right.
down here, it ain't your fault.
Right.
Know this, that inside you still a brother or a sister.
That's right.
If your
That's
daddy's
right.
one of us.
That's a good point. So I'm glad you brought that up. You's a brother or sister, and you got that hair. I'm not saying that hair is bad, because some of our brothers and sisters got that over here. Got that like that. You know what I'm saying? You rock with that hair, man. That's your hair.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You a certified brother or a sister.
Yep.
Don't be ashamed of that. Christ is the reason reason for us to come back in here.
Yep.
So I can't look at another brother or sister's cause and see something wrong with it, because my damn self is wrong.
Yep.
The hell I'm gonna judge somebody else for? Not judge somebody. We look at somebody else wrong. I hate to use that term, judge. You know what I'm saying? We all able to come back. I forget about what the evils I done because I'm looking at somebody else. You better stop that garbage, man, and realize how wicked you are. And if the Lord have mercy on you, you don't think the Lord have mercy on you? I think every day, man, how a wicked nigga like me can be up in this truth, man. When I do all the evil I was doing back in the day, I grew up before y'all. A lot of years before y'all, man. The streets was running rampant with evil. I believe they don't know the evil that was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? It's not as evil as it was. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? We gotta have mercy on the thing is we gotta have mercy on one another, man. We gotta be washed anew, man, and really be washed anew, man, and really, understand the thing of being washed anew. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You will start to understand why a person is like this. The slavery they've been through. You understand why they prefer the blonde hair. Because they've been through some trauma, you know what I'm saying? Even though it looked to you, like, why the hell would you wear that goddamn blonde hair? But the trauma that the sister went through, the upbringing of the sister, you don't understand that. Go ahead now.
Like the crown in Isaiah?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 3.
The scab of the crown. 316 scab of the crown. I don't know if that's a good one right now. We gotta say that for something else now. I was rolling with it, but I don't know about this one. That's a little bit bad. Go ahead now.
In Jeremiah, where it says, "Is Israel a homeborn slave?"
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That's the one you said earlier.
Come, we teach the wicked one our ways.
Yeah.
No, that's a good one too.
Yeah, you pull it. Yeah.
Come, sir.
But that, okay, that's a good one. All right, go ahead. Who had the hand up?
I was saying to y'all point, which is so heavy, is like, which I'm bringing out because like I've been watching a lot of documentaries on Brazil. In Brazil, one of the 8 wonders of the world, they're looking up the whole favela, they're looking up at white Christ.
Yeah.
Right.
And they do have that issue with light-skinned Brazilians, dark-skinned Brazilians. Right. And then also Jamaica's having that same issue too with the skin bleaching and all those different things because of white supremacy, just to y'all point.
Now you know why the Lord said, have no idols or make no images. The Lord said that because he knew you were going to sit there and worship these goddamn images and try to be like these images that don't have no reflection on him or who you are.
Sir.
And you worshiping images, some man that made an image to deceive you and destroy you, and you worship the image. Like in Brazil, the tribe of Asher. The tribe of Asher in Brazil worship that white Jesus. Right. I mean, we all, all the tribes, really. North, Central, and South America. That image ain't got nothing to do with you. Nor has it got anything to do with God. Nor has it got anything to do with the truth. Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, what you call Jesus Christ. It's nothing to do with that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It got something to do with some man making the image. Imagine a man that made that image. Who decided that all the tribes were going to worship this white Jesus? You know what I mean? Like, who's the man that made the image, that put it up there, and got everybody looking at the image like it's Jesus? There's a man behind that. He should not be worshipped because God said that you should not make no images, no graven images of any likeness. You know what I'm saying? So what they did was an onslaught, and it got us destroyed. You got your woman. You get a woman. She worshipped the image.
Right.
So now you ain't light enough for her.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't fit the image that she worshiping. You follow what I'm saying? Oh, is that someone? Okay, go ahead. Somebody got it.
I got the scripture.
Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Go ahead.
The Lord saying, why he's asking Israel, why are you trimming your ways to seek love? Which is what we're doing today. We're doing it so heavily, like we ain't loving each other the way we supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Now, nor do we care about our own, our own identity.
Right.
Because we want to be a part of American culture.
Right.
Because we want to be accepted. Like how long we've been doing? How long we've been trying to be accepted in America? Since forever, right? To the point where we're putting on weaves, to we coloring our hair. These days, these days, brothers and sisters look like a bunch of trolls with pink hairs and blue hairs.
Right.
Y'all know that started with Edom, with the oppressor. They're the ones I remember when I was a kid growing up in New York. That was the only people back in the day to see with tattoos and green hair, purple hair, blue hair.
That's right.
And now brothers and sisters are doing it.
Right.
Why? Because we want to be accepted. Yet Trayvon Martin dies. Yet the brother in Rochester, New York dies. Yet more and more our people die. But yet we have another part of us that say, yo, we're past post-racism. Really? Really? You know, like what?
Can I say this as well? Like, we'll accept like homosexuality, even though we know it's wrong. We'll accept their
part of it.
We'll accept their drugs.
Because that comes from
wrong.
That comes
just
from
to seek love.
Right. That's an oppressionist culture.
Yep.
That comes from it. You can definitely say that. And that's definitely Greek and Roman culture.
Come
on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sis.
What's the point of the orange or the red color on Muslims? Like they have their beard colored red or orange or whatever.
I'll tell you what it is. It goes with cannibalism. They said Muhammad ate something. His beard turned red or whatever. Go ahead now. You know what I'm talking about?
He ate the heart or something like that.
He ate the heart, which is the same as it's the same as the
Romans.
The Roman heart. You know what I'm saying? But they said that's the reason why it turned red. So they get the Muslims to wear the beard red. I don't know. That's a big thing in Philly, but I don't know how far it is back in other, New York, Delaware, New York, maybe a little DC, a couple of Muslims sprouting out. But yeah, that's where it comes from. And then, it's all an abomination. They ain't got nothing to do with us, man. Them Muslims, them Arabs are not our people. So
that's right.
We shouldn't be nowhere near that damn false religion, man.
That's right.
If I go throw another one in these days, you even have brothers trying to be rabbis, trying to be Jewish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As we saw in the Commander General Honda did with the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That brother right there,
that brother's an Ephraimite too, ain't
he? He Asher.
No, it's another brother that's an Ephraimite.
No, the other one's Manasseh.
Is he Manasseh? I thought he was Ephraim. Okay, maybe I'm not. Go ahead.
Well, one of them was Asher, and the other one, the rabbi was Asher. the leader is Manasseh.
Yeah. He's Manasseh, the one he just did one with.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He's the Manasseh. Okay. For those that don't understand, Ephraim and Manasseh were brothers that were born into Egypt, and Joseph blessed Ephraim over Manasseh. Ephraim is the so-called Puerto Ricans, and Manasseh is the so-called Cubans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to edify somebody. That's who they are today. Go ahead, Doc.
If I could, sir, if I could. My brother is doing 40 years in jail right now. And he was like, I'm about to go listen to lectures. And I said, what you listening to? He said, Islam, right? Islam. And I said, what you listening to, like Malcolm X? He's like, nah, Malcolm X, he talk about black people and black nationalism, all that weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, who you listen to? He's like, I listen to regular people like that follow Prophet Muhammad. I said, so you don't listen to people that talk about black people? He said, nah, that's weird.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something what Islam did, man. Back in the day, was no brothers and sisters Muslim until the black Muslims came on the scene.
Right, okay.
The black Muslims opened the doorway for them to go further into Islam.
Right.
For further to claim the actual Islam of the Arabs. But they started with the black Muslims, and then when the black Muslims didn't see, they moved further into the mainstream Muslims because of all the controversy that went down with the black Muslims. Let me tell you something. If you are Muslim, you shouldn't be a goddamn Muslim anyway.
Right.
Shouldn't be a goddamn Muslim anyway. But how the hell you gonna be a Muslim and you move from blackness into some other? I guess you the ultimate Arab or whatever. I don't know what they think of you or whatever. I don't know how to. Let me tell you something. I've never encountered Islam until I came to Philly. DC, I'm from DC. You just black. You just black in DC, goddammit. I grew up with some black people, and religion wasn't a big issue. I came to Philly, and Islam is all over the goddamn place, man.
Right.
And it looks ridiculous. It looks crazy. It looks like a black man that's totally out of his mind to me.
Right.
Because why in the hell would you try to act like another? Why would you take on the identity and try to act like another people?
Right.
That's not your people. That's not who you are. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
It just looks. But because Philly is so diverse, you got the Arabs. I guess you got all. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, Oz.
You go to New York,
Oz is in D.C. right now.
You go to New York, you got to deal with the 5%ers.
Right.
And what's today's mathematics?
Right.
What the hell you gonna ask me the circumference of the earth? I ain't never been to space before.
Right.
I ain't never globe tried it. You know what I'm saying?
The
You know what I'm saying? But why trip is thy way to seek love?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got brothers who think they Fu Manchu. Like back in the 70s, you remember that? Back in the 70s, everybody was kung fu fighting.
Right. That's right.
I went there.
Right.
You know my
senseis and all that. That was the big thing back then, boy. You know what I mean? So let's go on a little bit more into Puerto Rico. What you got?
Did you want the rest of that?
Yeah, please.
Therefore, hast thou also taught the wicked one thy ways.
You see that, and that's important there, because not only we take on their culture, but we show them how to be Puerto Rican and Mexican and Native Indian and Black. You know what I'm saying? Justin Bieber was good for that. You know what I'm saying? What's the other one? Justin Timberlake, right?
Right.
Is that his name? So the white boy, right? What's his name?
Which one?
It's another Justin, not Justin Bieber, but the other one.
You said
Justin Timberlake.
Said the right name?
Justin
Yeah,
Timberlake.
you know what I'm saying? And many others, Katy Perry and so on and so forth.
John B. and Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
John B. No, but
God.
Christina Aguilera is a sister. Her mama's a devil.
I know that.
part. Go ahead.
How about the bars? The bars.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Marley.
yeah.
I like the bar. I like a couple of their songs. I said, what? The bars is white? I can't believe the bars are white.
Yeah, her father
It blew me away.
Who, Christina?
Christina's father's Asher. Yeah.
Okay.
Bad Bunny.
Yay.
Right, he from Vega Baja.
Hey.
What they saying about him?
Huh?
What
Oh,
is it?
he paint himself.
There he goes.
Right.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
Puerto Rico.
Don't let me get started. In the streets of Puerto Rico, the thugs, y'all don't do no shakeups here, right? Good for y'all.
They paint their nails down there.
Man, they painted the nails now. But nice but
I know one thing about Ephraim. Ephraim paint every goddamn thing.
Eyebrows, and you can't tell them nothing.
You leave your truck, if you got a white truck and you leave with an Ephraim, that joke gonna be tagged. That joke gonna be tagged about 100 times. I saw it. People love the goddamn.
But here's the thing, right? The Lord told us not to do that because that was an Egyptian custom. Right? We shaping up the eyebrows to bar the corners of your beard.
People love the tag. You know what I mean? But that's just that. You know what I mean? Every tribe got their own thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Come. I had that video for you. I just wanted to remind you. I did have that video.
We gotta move on because we really got a lot of stuff to cover.
Oh,
we at 9 o'clock already?
Listen,
we probably here by 11, man. Let's hurry up.
We got 7 parts.
Move it on, goddamn.
If I did, at least let me get this.
Let's get I gotta get the operation now. Oh, go ahead. What you got?
No. This is gonna take a little bit, but we can watch that.
Okay, now. I want to get to the money. First, I want to get to the money. How when the Spanish how they exchanged. Hold on, man. Let me get my bearings. How the Spanish-American War. Is that the money one?
It's with the pinche. I know what you're talking about.
Please hold that.
It's in here.
Okay, well, let's get to that then. Let's get to that.
If I may, right? I'm gonna continue where I left off, right? Okay, he says this was after the hurricane, right? Ruined the Puerto Rican economy, being that the island of Puerto Rico is now a U.S. colony or territory. After the hurricane, the U.S. did not send any type of relief. Sound familiar?
Right.
Right?
Damn right.
Sound familiar still. 2021. What happened to Maria 2 years ago? Right? What happened? There was 2 hurricanes. Okay? Sound familiar, right? Okay, let's keep going. The following year, the United States devalued. Here's what you wanted, Captain.
Yeah.
The United States devalued the Puerto Rican currency at 43% and forced all Puerto Ricans to exchange their currency to American dollars at a devalue rate of 40%.
You know that did overnight. You became a slave. Listen, imagine. Okay, go ahead. I want you to say something.
This juice, man.
Imagine you would broke even with your whatever business you had. You broke even. You are in debt. 40%. You are in debt. You changed that when they defeated the Spaniards, and they wanted to change this money over. You had the peso, they changed it to American dollar. You get a 40% deficit right on the spot.
Right.
God dang. Could you imagine taking that right now? The economy here would be trash. It would be, I can't even explain to you what it's like. How can I say it? God damn it. How can I say it? It's like, man. It's like, okay. Imagine your wages, your money, and everything destroyed 40%. You in the hole from where you are right now.
Off the break.
Off the break. Nothing that you're doing, just off the break. And then everything you make from now on is taxed, and you paying this and that and all that. Boy, you was a slave. And they did this for what reason? I'll tell you why. To get the people that own land to be able to put them in a position where they would have to rely on loans. And let me tell you something, man. That is how you get enslaved.
That's right.
That's how you get enslaved. You ever see? Let me tell you something. Anybody know anything about the marking I mean the housing industry. When they, you know about that now. You know what I'm talking about. How they gave black people them overpriced loans for them houses, and black people thinking they can be able to pay them back. And then after they didn't pay them back, they stripped the whole house from them.
Right. Oh, God.
And now they just messed up. They don't know what happened. That's the same thing they did here. They gave them, what do you call it? God damn it. High prices, what's that guy? Go ahead.
What, predatory loans?
Yes.
Yes. That's a
where they can give you a high interest rate. That's what I'm looking for. Interest rate. You're not gonna be able to pay them back. They did that with school. Why? Because the confiscated the land. Because the land. Let me tell you what the Europeans understood. He who owns the land owns the wealth. You got no land, you got no goddamn wealth.
Right.
You think that money is your wealth? You own no land. How the hell you gonna claim that? You paying rent to the man that owns the goddamn land.
Right.
You get your food from the man that owns the goddamn land. Your shelter comes from the man that owns the land.
That's right.
You mean to tell me you get paid you follow me, $1 amount, and you think you rich because you making that money?
Right.
When the man that owns the land collected something, you don't even, you know what I'm saying? You don't, and here's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We own no land on the earth. What land on the earth do you own?
Right.
What can you say is yours? It's getting income. That's what the Lord said in the curses. Get it for me in the curses. He said, you're going to buy from your enemies. You're going to be wiped out of your land. Don't even get it from me in the curses. You know what? That's going to take too much time. Don't even get it from me in the curses. The Lord, I always say this. A landless people is a powerless people. You know, damn what you say. The people, the rich bankers, you go to Puerto Rico right now. You think, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico to help the Puerto Ricans because the Puerto Ricans are, you know, they need money. You ain't helping no Puerto Ricans. You helping people that own the goddamn land, ignorant. People that own the hotels, people that own the goddamn restaurants, people that own the goddamn, go say it? The bars, and those aren't Puerto Ricans.
Right.
Go ahead now. Say it, Alex. Come on. You know what I mean?
The big ones there. Yeah.
Please.
Can I
Nah, I got a question. Give it real quick. Go ahead now.
You know how in Philly we pay 7% tax?
Right.
Sometimes 8% tax?
Right.
And Puerto Rico is 16% tax.
Yes.
16.
Yes. 16%.
Hold on.
And they're not even a goddamn state.
Hold on.
They're not even. I don't understand this, man. Somebody got to come and teach me something on this. This is ridiculous,
Hold on,
man, right here.
Hold on. We paying the 32% tax to the U.S. government, right? Right now, it used to be 1% sales tax. Now it's at, I think, 16% sales tax, right? But if I could read the reason why this is stamped, the reason, right? I'm gonna go look, right? So, 40% rate in 1901, the United States enacted the Hollander Act, right? Which is
the Hollander
Hollander tax was a land tax put in place in 1900 by Puerto Rican U.S. appointed treasurer Jacob Hollander, shortly after the acquisition of the island by the United States following the Spanish-American War, right? It exempted lands priced below $100 and thus fell squarely on middle and high-income landowners. Okay, so let me continue, right?
Let's have it.
Which present back here, Hollander Act, which presented deeply graduated set of property taxes that no farmer have ever faced before. Now, hold on. Now having these three things that hit all at once, the farmers start a loop. They needed capital, and they started looking for ways to not lose their farm. The main institute that led to Puerto Rico.
Banks.
Hold on, check this out.
I know the banks.
American Colonial Bank was the main institute.
Whoa.
Okay. Hold on.
That's it.
Hold on.
He's a slave.
Listen, we just started going down the rabbit hole with this one.
That's it.
Yeah. Right. Since they had no use. Hold on, you can't say this out. In those days, there were no usury laws.
Oh, that's
any bank could come in and set a usury rate, and you couldn't do a damn thing about it.
They want your land. They come to you. They not going. It ain't like you can't go above a certain amount. They give you the amount they want you to pay.
That's right.
And because you don't want to lose your land, you think you can maybe work your land a little bit and pay it off or whatever, just to try to keep your land. You go ahead. Imagine being in that type of situation, man. You know what I'm saying? They trying to steal your land from you, man. And that's what they did. Here's the outcome. All these businesses on the land of Puerto Rico, the Puerto Ricans are slaves on that land. They are slaves on that land.
Right.
Go ahead.
Is that equivalent to like sharecropping? You know, like after slavery, they made Negroes like work the land, but said we're gonna charge you for this, we're gonna charge you for that,
and then they keep them on the land.
Fees would be more than what you would bring in, so
they never own the land. It is, but it's a lot worse because I'm gonna tell you what. Go ahead,
if I could, can I give you his perspective? 2007, what happened? The what? The housing crisis. Remember? 2007, people lost their. Now multiply that by 100. That's how bad it was for us. So that you understand.
The brother didn't speak yet. I mean, he might want to get in a little bit. I'm so busy rambling on. Go ahead.
Si tiene algo que sacar.
Over here, definitely we are slaves. We are slaves, and we are under the oppression. The pressure on the oppressor is spiritually and economy also.
Right.
At the same token.
Right, that's right. We're spiritually enslaved, meaning worshiping your slave master, worshiping his gods, saving and economy, meaning you a slave to work for the people that got you spiritually enslaved. Yep. You working for them, bringing them profit. How the hell you like before? Like, okay, if I could, the so-called Puerto Ricans, before the white man came to our island, had their own way of dealing with conflict and all that, right? You had a hurricane, you had to deal with yourself. You couldn't rely on nobody else to help you out. You had whatever ordeal you had to go through, you deal with yourself. But when it came there, they felt why? They felt they couldn't deal with it, so they had to rely on their master to deal with it because of I'm gonna tell you something about this slavery in Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican brother is the one that suffered the most, man. It's like anywhere you get religion, you get the Catholic and the Christian religion. That brother, man, is on the bottom suffering the most. They raised a woman up above you. You suffered on the bottom. You can't make the determination of how your family gonna go or whatever because you relying because your family been destroyed and now they going to the slave master for guidance and not you. You wiped out, man. Your voice is not heard, man. That's why every Ephraimite brother, man, need to come into this truth, man.
That's right.
He need to come into this truth, man, because he's precious before the Lord, man.
Right, that's right.
He's precious.
Right.
You know what I mean? Puerto Rico, man, destroyed, and everybody looking to those. And y'all know with the Roman Catholic Church, the woman is always pushed up because that's what Satan went to go and do. Y'all was Satan. You know the white man is the head of the satanic church. Yeah. He pushing the woman up. So where's the brother that's supposed to be in charge of all this? His voice ain't being heard. Same thing in every Christian church. the same goddamn thing going on. What you think? Something different going on over there? Same damn thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, man, let's go into a little bit more. Let's go into, if I could. You good on that? Because I want to bring out the eugenics. I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we have to do another part.
Yeah, we gotta do another part. Let's go to the eugenics. Go ahead.
And Colonel McCon, and if the brother if y'all wanted to bring the brother on the feed, I could bring. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is send me his email, and I can bring him on to the
Yeah, I wish we'd have did that at the beginning, man.
About that Gmail.
Gmail.
Yeah,
I'll send him the link.
He's gonna send you a link so you can click in.
On a big T screen.
Well,
it's already almost half an hour to 9. We'll have to go into listen to this. Go and pull up the eugenics. Y'all know about eugenics, right? Martha Singer, the eugenics movement. He tried to wipe. They say they wanted to get rid of what do you call it, black people? The skunk, the
human weed.
Who?
Human weeds.
Human weeds. Well, guess what? The same eugenics program was pushed in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about, man, y'all got to see the connect. Y'all got to, you know what I mean? Let me tell you something, brother. The Bible ain't going to tell you the Puerto Ricans are your brothers, goddamn right. The Bible going to show you spiritually that you going through the same things that these other tribes are going through.
Right.
It's going to tell you where the tribes is, and you got to make the connection somehow in your brain, that little brain that ain't been out the hood. That brain that been in the hood all this goddamn life got to somehow revive itself.
Right.
But where we at? Go ahead.
So I just wanted to make a statement. When I look up there and I see y'all two brothers, man, first of all, can we give y'all a hand? You know, when I look up there and I see y'all two brothers, y'all like the embodiment of, I think that's Ezekiel, the 36 or 37th chapter, where it says, there'll be no more two sticks.
Exactly.
The Lord was going to bring Ephraim, bring us together. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see. I look up there. It's like it.
Oh, that's right, man. Let me tell you something. I'm a roller. Osh, man, he been a pillar of this truth, man. AHPARAYAM, man, I remember DC, rolling with this brother back in the day. The Osh lived in Puerto Rico and left Puerto Rico to come over here. Y'all know that? Back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember.
I was born and raised in the Bronx, but I lived in Puerto Rico damn near 20 years when I came into the truth. You know what I'm saying? And my gun didn't even know that. I told him, I told him while I went through in Puerto Rico, like Puerto Rico. Let me ask you a question. Here's something that y'all should always consider. Why we never hear news about Puerto Rico? Obviously, something going down there they want you to know about.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
They don't want you to know about the projects down there.
That's right.
They don't want you to know about the ghettos down there.
Right.
Why is that?
Because they look too much like y'all.
Yeah.
Resemble too much here.
Right. That's exactly what it does. You know what I mean? It's heavy. You got a brother bring it up. And listen, I ain't really think about a lot of this stuff until we start going back and forth. I'm like, let me check this out. Let me see what this is all about. And brother, it goddamn knocked me down. I'm like, God damn. And then I'm, going into the breakdown of Joshua. And Joshua's a heavy Ephraimite brother. You know what I mean? And all the things it just rang home for me, man. It's like, man, we got to do this, man. Right. We got to go and, you know what I mean? Even though let me tell you something. You not look like you're going to be able to do something to raise up the 12. Let me tell you something, bro. Already right now. Don't nobody think you're going to do anything. You ain't looking like you're going to do nothing.
We don't look like
you just wiped away in the hood somewhere.
We don't look like
you don't look like you're going to be able to rise above your condition and bring these tribes back. Somebody do that is extraordinary. Like you just supposed to be, just like your father. Just waste away and go away and not be heard of and just go on in this sin. learning this, something that the Lord that lay in our lap for us to build upon, man.
Yes,
for us to raise, you know what I'm saying?
That's
a heavy ordeal, man. That's something I never even imagined. Could I imagine that in my life on the streets of DC? Hell no. All I knew was go-go and hoes, goddammit. Go-go and hoes and weed and drugs, goddammit. That's it.
Right. This don't look like the face of government.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? It don't look like that. But the Lord did say that He'll take what He said what's it called? When He said He'll take the.
Go ahead.
Basically,
the foolishness of
the
foolishness. That's right. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I ain't think about that one. Yeah. All right, where we at? Let's go to let's do the extermination. Now, I want to, listen, if we could, shit. This extermination is heavy, but this is also on the backbone of how they've been teaching us that one drop rule and all those different, different rules that affect genetics, how you think. Then they come back and kill your kids.
Right.
Like all the things this is insane, man. All the things you think about yourself. I'm not pure this. Don't give me. Listen, that's bull crap, man. You are the seed of your father. Point blank, plain and simple. You know what I mean? He might have made a mistake and put his seed in a white woman or another nation. You know what I mean? But you are the seed of your father.
Right.
Regardless. So it's heavy, man. Let's get the genetics thing, man. I'm gonna show you what they did with our brothers and sisters in the West Indian Islands and Puerto Rico and all down North, Central, and South America.
Yes, sir.
It is decreasing as a result of the continuing heavy rate of female sterilizations and the migration of young people.
Is it big for everybody?
Put
that on my nose. Sorry for beginning, Tazai, we could.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it together if we could. Anybody got any questions on anything? We're gonna wrap this up real quick. We got a ton more to go into, but time don't allow. Go ahead, sis.
Why is all the Hispanic people coming to the Mexican border?
Oh, that's an excellent one too. Oh man, that would take a long time to answer. Because of you want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because of the oppression in their lands.
Right.
Because of the white man. Imagine, why would you flee here from an oasis called Puerto Rico? Why would you flee up here from there?
Or Cancun.
There's only one reason why, or Cancun, whatever, or from the different lands. Because there is something down there that's causing you to run for your life. And that thing down there that's causing you to run for your life, it's in Obadiah when it said the thief comes to steal. When it says, you know what I'm talking about? Most High in Christ. That book, that's in Obadiah when it said he can't steal enough. He gonna steal your goddamn land, your identity, your whatever you got. He looking for to steal it. Go ahead now.
If I could, I don't want what you saying is absolutely atomic. I talked to a brother from Guatemala, and he said he left Guatemala because the police are thieves.
Yeah.
When he get pulled over, they don't write him a ticket or anything like that. They just ask him for money.
Somebody give me Obadiah 1 and 5. I think it's 1 and 5. Go ahead.
So
they don't even ask for tickets. They don't write no tickets or nothing.
Nothing. They just want your money.
They want money.
In Nicaragua, same thing with the government in Nicaragua. They just want your money. So when they leave those places like El Salvador or whatever they leave them because of oppression from the government, and the government is just thieves.
Right.
What you saying is
Because let me tell you something, man, if I could. These people go in these lands and they set up these governments, man, to oppress people, man, to push their. I got a tape of a goddamn Arab in Puerto Rico complaining about the oppression that his store is getting in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, he's an Arab. And them goddamn Arabs are down in Puerto Rico getting rich off of the natives and complaining because the white man is oppressing them. Please, goddamn, please, somebody help me out with this, please.
Them Chinese.
The Tao.
They parasites.
Yes.
And the Amalekites that live there. Bunch of parasites and the rest of the devils.
The goddamn Chinese. I got a brother that wrote it. He said the Chinese man been in this neighborhood for 30 years. He want to consider him a Chinese Puerto Rican or something. If I could. He think, I said, don't you ever. What is wrong with you? Straighten up, goddammit. What's wrong with you? That goddamn is a goddamn man that's feeding off of you, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's one less Ephraimite that's being able to operate in his land and being able to, gain notoriety. Because, when you open a store, you gain notoriety.
Right.
People that own the stores in it, they got a lot of political pull on the rest of the people that don't got stores. You know what I'm saying? That's why the white man, that's why this oppressor, goddamn, does that. Because he puts them in political moves so that they can be able to, go in his direction. So he sets up stores and pulls different, the same thing that happened in our land back when the Assyrians took us out of the land. And they put implants in our land. Yep. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, they put them in our land. Why they put them in our land? Because these implants will help them oppress the people. You know, oppressing people, man, it's a lot of work. You just can't, you got to be on the scene. You got to occupy the land. You got to push your agenda. It's a work, so you need help. So you enlist other nations to help you push your agenda. That's what he does, man. That's exactly what he does. So lock it. Please play that tape on the eugenics. Let me show you something.
Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
From the top.
Whenever you ready.
I'm ready.
Come.
I'm getting out. Is it big?
Come on. Yes, what's up? Right here. Right here.
Well, click that, and then you see the white dot.
Where?
Right here. It's not next to it. Next to it, right there. Right here. Go down.
What are you talking about?
I can't remember.
Stop along the video. See that right there. Turn it up.
For 1958, the New York Times reported today that Puerto Rico's birth rate is decreasing as a result of the continuing heavy rate of female sterilizations and the migration of young people to the mainland. The rate of sterilization ranges from 10% to 42%. 42% of the women.
Please, let's go to the top. I want to get all of this. I don't want none of this to skip. Go to the beginning. Y'all hear that? It's decreasing. Puerto Rico's rate decreasing. Wonder why? I wonder because the goddamn white Jesus they serving.
Right.
Is it white Jesus? Is it maybe Feliz Navidad? The Feliz Navidad is
January 24, 1958, the New York Times.
That goddamn Feliz Navidad bullshit, and that white Jesus, and that Trinity, and all the rest of it is the reason why they decreasing. We need Puerto Rico, so-called Ephraim, to increase.
Right.
The hell you decreasing for? In the Revelation it said we're gonna be like the sand of the sea.
Right.
Did it? Yep. That's what it said. All over the goddamn place. So why is it decreasing right here? Because I'll tell you why. The goddamn devil is the one operating, and he whispering to your woman, have an abortion. Take a contraceptive. You know, tie that womb up. Put that wound in bondage. Like them breasts is in bondage. They take them breasts. They lock them goddamn, free them goddamn breasts. They lock them goddamn breasts up. Them old tomboys, like they ain't got none. We know, yeah, don't take the breasts up. We know. Go ahead, let's get some more. Let's get it from
Oh God, yes sir, yes sir.
Times reported today that Puerto Rico's birth rate is decreasing as a result of the continuing heavy rate of female sterilizations and the migration of young people to the mainland. The rate of sterilization ranges from 10% to 42%.
Sterilization and the migration of young people to the mainland. That's important. Because you see a lot of Puerto Ricans over in the States. Because why? They want to rid the island of Puerto Rico of Puerto Ricans so they can inhabit it and take over. That's how you do it. How do you, come on, man, think, man, for a minute. How do you rid, I want this island for myself. It's a beautiful oasis. What do I got to do? Ship them out, sterilize them, move the goddamn, what do you call it? What do you call the goddamn places where they go and have resorts? There's resorts over in there. Had it. Go ahead.
You said where they go and have the resorts at?
Yeah, remember they bring the people down in Puerto Rico. The number one trade in Puerto Rico is the tourism. It's tourism.
Yes, sir.
They want to bring the resorts down there, hotels, bars, clubs, all the things to do with tourism down there. To get the money, and then the Puerto Ricans, the so-called Puerto Ricans on the land, don't get any. So that if I could, hold on, wait a minute. It's in place that they decide to take over. Same thing. Let's see, you got an ideal plot of land. Let's buy some rich place. What are they gonna do? Increase the crime.
Right.
What happens when they increase the crime in Puerto Rico? People
That's
don't.
right.
Yeah. The poverty, the level goes. Property value go down. People want to leave the island.
Right.
They import them for here. And then they come in and they buy the land cheap. Buy it super cheap.
Right.
And then they start moving in. Right. They get the hotels, the industries like that. Right. And then once they got their businesses over there, they sell the white Jesus.
Right.
White Jesus make you all right with every goddamn thing that's going on. Because these is white people and they would never do anything. You got God loves everybody. So now you don't see that, you blind to what's going on right before your eyes.
Right.
Go ahead. I say hate is how we on the island, we call it these oppressors distinguished people. You feel what I'm saying? Like we make them better than us when they're the ones that are killing us, exterminating us. You know what I'm saying? Taking our lands. Like if I touch on what you were saying, in Puerto Rico, this is how it operates. The rich help other rich people benefit.
That's everyone.
You know what I'm saying? They go in there and like the government sets up benefits for the rich, right? From the mainland. Go into Puerto Rico and give them a 20-year tax abatement.
If I could. And they set up puppet people to make you think your cause is being pushed.
Yep.
So now you got fake Puerto Ricans running around telling you to galvanize and come together and to push this cause when really they're working for the rich that's paid them to put them in office.
Right.
And some of Ephraimites. They are in the government. Right. That's a big issue in Puerto Rico that the government is so corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the things America does is that they always send a surplus of money to the island of Puerto Rico for the people, for the food stamp recipients, and Puerto Ricans don't get the full benefits. Why is that? Because the government themselves are shaving off the top. You know what I'm saying? Like you can imagine, you get a food stamp benefit every month, and it'd be like $125 for a family of 3. Now, how are you supposed to pay light with that?
Right.
And then 75% of that is food stamp, and the other 25 is cash.
That's insane. That's insane, man. You got a government that hates them. Oh man, I can't even explain it. Get the brother got anything? Anybody else? Nah, real quick.
If I could, sir, I don't know if people understand this about Puerto Rico, but in the island of Puerto Rico, nothing comes from anywhere else. Everything comes from America.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything.
What?
So this was something we was going to talk about.
Right.
So if you want it, like you know how something is made in China, it got to come to America first,
Right.
and then it leaves from Miami to Puerto Rico.
If I could, they signed a treaty that they got to deal with America before they can deal with anybody else. So that's that treaty that's governing them right now to keep them slave to America, to keep them underneath American rule, to keep. Man, it's heavy, man. We got to go into another one because I got a ton of notes. I still got a ton of things I ain't even touch on. Yeah. But I want to finish this sterilization. But go ahead if I could, real quick.
Sir, just in case if we don't get time to go to it, I heard y'all talking about the John something.
The Jones Act. We got to go into it. Listen, let's figure out this sterilization. But this is heavy. This is every black woman in America. This is exact. You should be able to relate to this. Because they did the same thing to the so-called Puerto Rico. And they cut, listen, they did it so prevalent. It was so much done, they call it the operation. Did you get an operation done? Did you do the operation? You had the operation? They called it the operation because it was so random and it was so much that it was just named 1/3 of all Puerto Rican women got that had that because the white man with his eugenics pushed that to all them women on that island.
It was law. It was law that they had to go into a sterilization clinic. If you worked in a factory or any industry, you had to go if you're a female to get sterilized. So some sisters went to the hospitals, got sterilized, and didn't even know about it. Found out later on.
You want to make money? You got to not be able to have kids. Yeah. You want to make money?
Sounds really cool.
Isn't that something? That is some draconian crap right there, bro.
If I could bring out a draconian number, if I could. What's today? According to the oppressor's calendar, right? It's May 11th, 2021. We're at 9:42 p.m. So far, 72,785 of our children have been aborted.
This year?
This year.
What?
It's higher than last year.
72,000.
I wonder why. Maybe
72,000. That's insane. Let's let Ash on the agenda. Let's put this out, please. Please, let's get this. We're gonna do a couple more tapes on this because this is gonna be. Go ahead.
All right, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay, I'm ready.
Women working in one factory outside San Juan were found to have been sterilized.
North American troops landed in Puerto Rico in 1898. 2 years later, Charles Allen, first North American civilian governor, complained that there were too many Puerto Rican laborers and poor and not enough men of capital. The corporations soon arrived, and by 1930, they already owned more than half of the land. Displaced from the land by the thousands, the small farmers went to work, planting and harvesting sugarcane. By 1937, unemployment had reached 37%. The Puerto Rican people, now landless, jobless, and uprooted, became what the planners called excess population. The North American governor, Blanton Winship, approved in 1937 Law Number 136 legalizing sterilization. Based on the principles of eugenics, which advocated the breeding of the fit and the weeding out of the unfit, namely the poor and non-white, these laws came, in Winship's words, to fill the urgent need to avoid the menace of the ever-growing population. The needlework industry, piecework in the home and in sweatshops, where women were paid lower wages than men, flourished in Puerto Rico as World War II decimated Europe's garment industry, creating great demand in the world market. The law allowing sterilization was passed precisely when women's labor was the only source of income for thousands of Puerto Rican families, and many women were forced to get sterilized. The fertility of women had great importance among the first inhabitants of Puerto Rico. Each of these fertility symbols represents 1% of the island's women of childbearing age. By 1946, 6.5% of all Puerto Rican women had been sterilized in government hospitals and private clinics.
And now our Caribbean report. Puerto Rico, a beautiful little island with a big problem. Today, April 30th, 1945, Chief of the U.S. Tariff Commission, Mr. Dorfman, has suggested the migration of 1 million Puerto Ricans as part of a plan to reduce the population problem on the island.
This migration was spontaneous inasmuch as the workers decided to migrate in search of jobs, but it was also planned. A confidential report by the island's government suggested in 1955 that 60,000 should leave. Shipping people out was, in effect, official policy. Production underwent rapid transformations during the 1940s. Operation Bootstrap, as the industrialization model was called, offered U.S. corporations tax-free operations, cheap labor, and handsome profits. Regarded by its planners as a showcase for prosperity and democracy, the new economic model further reduced the need for workers. This increased the so-called excess population.
Known the number of jobs that Bootstrap was going to create would never be enough to occupy the people entering the labor force each year, so that from the beginning, the very earliest plans, it was very clear that a very intensive campaign promoting birth control, sterilization, and other forms of reducing birth were going to have to be put into place.
Oh, wait a minute. I won't get it. I won't get it. God damn it.
More, sir?
Yeah, please. Oh, listen. That birth control is not. Oh, you still running?
No, I'm about to take
Okay.
right
Go ahead. Somebody had their hand up? Go ahead, sis.
C-sections, are they a form of birth control?
You goddamn right they are. The white man been playing them C-sections on black women for a long goddamn time. That is a form of birth control. As if the pill and what else they get, the whatever they decide they come up with to keep you from having babies. Now think about it now. Before we encountered this beast, this oppressor, we did. How many C-sections do we have then? How many pills do we have then? All that stuff comes from the man that you are underneath. That's oppressing you. And part of your oppression is you not to have kids. Why? Because you have kids, that does not, he got to be able to control that, because why? He wants to make as much money as he can possibly make off you. If you have a lot of kids, he can't make all that money. You got to kill him so he can pocket all that goddamn excess money. So not feeding them goddamn extra kids. Y'all keep listening to this goddamn beast on that when the Bible says I'm gonna read it right now. Go ahead, Knock, if you could.
If I could, with cesarean sections, they make, like you said, they make a lot of money, and they curb your vaginal birth, so
Right.
you can't necessarily have a future vaginal birth.
Right, exactly what I want to say. And I'm gonna tell you something else about them C-sections. They pay. They get paid for every C-section they produce.
Okay.
Now, why would they get paid extra money for producing a C-section on your woman? Why is that important to them? Because if you're gonna pay extra money, it must be important to them. The man is paying the money because they don't want you to put that baby out there, man.
Right.
They want to be to control your population and who you are. Because why? They did the same thing back in the day when they killed the baby and killed the male child and saved the woman.
Right.
They don't want no deliverer to come from amongst you.
Right.
You understand? They don't want nobody to come that's going to galvanize the people.
Right.
You understand? So they got to take control of that.
That's right, sir.
You know what I mean? So you got to go ahead.
And if I may, General Muhammad had brought a heavy book. We got it up there. It's called The 12 Caesars, and it shows in the book that the C section is the Caesar section.
Right. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's
cesarean.
Right, cesarean. Cesarean Caesar.
Yeah, cesarean.
Meaning, yeah. Oh, ain't that some shit? I never even realized that. Meaning Caesar come here to kill this child. The white Jesus with the cross in his hand come to kill your baby, goddammit. And you still worshiping that bastard. Boy, you black and Hispanic and Native Americans ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. To worship the same people that is as an affront against our people, man. It's a ton more we can bring out. It's already 9:30. I'm gonna ask the brother from Puerto Rico. You got something you want to say? Come on, bring it.
Yes, sir. The John 3:16 is killing us. The John 3:16, this nasty pastor, they pushing the agenda of God love everybody.
Right, that's a lie.
Over here, there's two restaurants next to each other, Puerto Rican restaurant and Chinese restaurant. The Puerto Rican restaurant closed down. The Chinese restaurant is on business right now.
You see that? Ain't that some bullshit? They ought to boycott that goddamn Chinese restaurant. I dare you. I dare you go patronize a Chinese restaurant with your brother. You ain't showing no brotherhood in Puerto Rico. If your brother shut down and some old foreigner is allowed to operate, that don't make no goddamn sense to me.
Right.
I might as well shit. What the hell am I doing being in the truth?
Right.
I'm gonna watch my brother get destroyed while my enemy flourishes above him. That's insane, man. That don't make no goddamn sense. We dealing with some goddamn draconian devils, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Devils that goddamn give a damn about you. They give a damn about profit and destroy your faith. I was gonna bring out how Adam. You know how the devil came to Eve. Why you don't relate that to your goddamn woman? That goddamn snake came to Eve, man. You know he got her doing everything he want. All kind of taking the child support, all kind of goddamn shit, the things that's to destroy the family, the household, and all that. Because that's what he want to do, destroy the household.
Right.
That's what he want. Got all women's live. All those women's live is a bunch of goddamn woman pride garbage, man. That old goddamn crap is a bunch of garbage. Women's live, empowering women to be, more this and that. Give me a goddamn break, man.
Right.
That's what Satan did. Empowered your woman to leave your behind.
That's right.
Go ahead. Somebody else who was doing that.
Somebody, yes, sir. I just wanted to read General Q said, the children are not healthy if they don't go through the vagina. Also, it messes up the woman's insides. And another thing that he said is it's evil to sterilize the most fruitful people in our nation.
And you know, Ephraim was called fruitful, man. The Lord called Ephraim fruitful. The Lord said, give me Hosea 13 and 15, and we're going to close on that. We got anything else, Alex?
Grandma was number 24.
Huh?
My grandmother, she was number 24.
24. You don't know about the old Ephraim. We say, God damn, they pile up in them cars, boy. You ain't made a good car unless it went through the test. Ephraim was in that goddamn car. That's how we knew that was the car to get. Because all 24, 30 of them be in that car. Like, okay, this is, remember, I used to, I ain't gonna go into that, but I used to say, because I always think some crazy crap. Go ahead now.
If I could, like the general was saying, if I could, when you come through the vaginal birth, they squeeze the mucus out the baby.
Right.
When they cut the cesarean, they don't squeeze the mucus out the baby, so the baby could come with all issues.
Well, Doc, you done came a long way, Doc. You know all about the goddamn. Doc done been through the what? He done been through it, baby. He teaching me some stuff. I'm like, what? The mucus? The goddamn baby coming through the prayer? Doc, goddamn. I know it, Doc. You give him a hand, man. I've been through it, man. That's a true soldier, man. You know what I'm saying? Most High in Christ, man. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Let's get this last scripture. You got anything else you want to bring out? No. We're going to end it on this scripture right here. Check this out about Ephraim.
Hosea chapter 13, verse 4. Yet I am the Lord.
No, 13 and 15.
13 and 15. Hosea chapter 13, verse 15. Though he be fruitful.
Though he be what?
Fruitful.
Keep going.
Among his brethren.
Talking about Ephraim, right? Yep. That's Ephraim's name. AHPARAYAM. He is fruitful, right?
Right. Yep.
That's his name. Read on.
An east wind shall come. The wind of the Lord shall come up from the wilderness. And his spring shall become dry.
You know what I mean? The Lord said, listen, Ephraim, I know I blessed the womb in you. The womb, y'all used to sit back in the day. If you breathe on an Ephraimite sister, she always, Bobby, you know what? Your breath made me pregnant, goddamn it. You breathe too goddamn hard, Bobby. Slow your roll. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean? It's like the fruit of the womb is not made it's not brought forth to help this nation. The fruit of the womb is being destroyed by the enemy. The enemy of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man.
That's right.
You understand? Read on.
And his spring shall become dry, and his fountain shall be dried up.
You see that? The fountain is where it come. You come and you bring forth the springs and the water, and you know what I mean? The Lord said, Ephraim is a fruitful bow by a well. So you bring forth children. Your fountain is your children that you bring forth. Your children dried up means you ain't having children. Because why? White man, the oppressor, would tell you shouldn't have children while you working. You're in the work job force. You can't afford no children. You can't afford them. He got all kind of different things he tells you. And you listen to him.
Right.
You listen to this man. So now when it's time, now it's a lot of, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something that's real popular. Old brothers and sisters trying to have babies before their childbirth is up. Because why? They've been fed lies all their life. They got to have a career. You got to do this and that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then before you know it, they done looked out for self for so long. Now they say, okay, oh my gosh, that's almost, you know what I mean? I ain't got no man, I ain't got no children or nothing. Let me try to find something. They in haste to get those things that they should have got when they was, you know, if they had listened to the Lord, you know, and took and adhered to what he said, you know what I'm saying, and came into the truth and goddamn and shed their goddamn carnality,
Right.
really. But you know what I'm saying, read on.
He shall spoil the treasure of all pleasant vessels.
You see that? He going to spoil, he going to destroy the treasure of all pleasant vessels, this enemy. You the vessel. Listen, you get a child, that is your pleasant vessel, man. That's your son and your daughter. That's somebody you entrust to, you want to raise right, you want to show them, your son and daughter, you want to show them, you know what I'm saying, life. You want to be able to show them how they're supposed to live.
Right.
Here's a man that's trying to destroy your son and your daughter. He's trying to destroy him. What you gonna do? Huh?
Right.
You gonna sit there and become a goddamn Christian
Right.
and say Jesus love everybody and let them destroy your son and daughter? You're a fool. I gotta go ahead.
If I may, sir, may I read verse 16?
Please read it.
Hosea chapter 13, verse 16. Samaria shall become desolate.
Where's Samaria? Still him.
Northern Kingdom.
That's an Ephraim.
Come on, God.
That's the capital of Ephraim, Samaria.
Come on, God.
Samaria, now he talked about Samaria after he talked about the children. Now he's going right to Samaria. Read on.
For she has rebelled against her God.
Well, please, go ahead.
How?
How? How does she rebel against her God?
Yeah.
No, how does he become desolate?
Yeah, no, that part.
Oh,
read it again.
Samaria shall become desolate, for she has rebelled against her God.
How?
By following the other nations, by not obeying the voice of the Most High.
We're talking about Samaria. What happened in Samaria? What we did in Samaria?
Worship idols.
Now you got the picture. Now read it again.
Now, hold on. What's the idols? Let's call off a few of the idols that they worship. We worship. What's the idols? On top. Yes. Are you kidding me? None?
Would it be?
Oh my gosh!
Would it be?
We gotta have another. We got the white Jesus,
Come on, God, sir.
the Mary,
Come on, God.
Christmas. They got the rosary. Yeah, that's real feminine.
Listen, and if we take it back, pre-Columbus, we was worshiping gods called Sammy, Huracan, and so on and so forth. Zuni. We had different gods, and not just here. But Gad had gods, Reuben had gods, Asher had gods, this had gods.
They worship the Pope. They worship the Pope, the Roman Catholic Church. All the goddamn, what the angels they call them, or whatever. All the goddamn the different popes or whatever they call them. What do you call them? The different goddamn, I can't think of the name of them. The different priests or whatever they call them. You got shit. No, go ahead.
Saints.
Saints. God damn. Give them a hand, man. I couldn't think of it. They got all. You ain't know that. They got all kinds of saints in there. Puerto Rico, goddamn it. Saint this, Saint this, Saint Juan. Saint Juan. Saint Juan is a
Saint John.
Saint John. Right. The big old. Listen. The whole. They got the capital of Saint John, right?
Yeah, San Juan.
Right, but it used to. At one time, when Ponce de Leon first came, the whole place was called Saint Juan.
When Columbus named it San Juan de Bautista, which is just Saint John the Baptist.
Right.
And they took Ponce de Leon when he was in what is now San Juan. He called it Puerto Rico and then named the island after that when he became governor.
Man, let me tell you something, man. Let's get up out of here, man. Listen, who else we got? We had Knock in the back. You good?
It's like if I could. That's the god of the hurricane.
Huracan. Yeah.
You got the hurricane?
Yeah.
You see that? All different
And
kind of guys,
there were
man.
different other gods, but the other tribes also had. You should know. You should know.
Yeah. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up. We probably had to.
This is what to bring up about this stories that we Jones Act.
You gotta hold that up.
Jones Act.
You gotta hold that. You gotta hold that. That's a good one too. We ain't even going to that. We ain't touch on that. Let's we're gonna wrap it up right now because we're way over the time. With that being said, any questions online?
Nah, sir, we good to go.
Yeah, we're good to go everywhere. I'm gonna pass the class over to priest. Huh?
Tashiyan.
We're gonna pass the class over to priest on the top. Give it up, man. Give it up.
This is IHPK security announcements. Rules for new brothers and new sisters. When a brother or sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister have an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the head. Tithing, which is a commandment. Ma'asharah, which means 10th in Hebrew, number 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory, whatever amount you would like. Up and coming holy convocation, which is the Passover, which is April the 21st.
Passover.
That's right.
That's right. Give it up. Give it up.
It's going to be in Houston, Texas. BH Ranch.
Yeah.
Common concept. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school,
But I also mentioned the Feast of Unleavened Bread because you got to
Feast of Unleavened Bread, and we got
same location.
The 7th.
When is it?
No.
Like the following day,
the following day after the Passover.
Following day after the Passover.
Same location. Though.
Same location. All right. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing black boots, black shirts, black pants, headband and scarf, and saying that, Amijam, we're going to give the men one courtesy salute. Amijam Shabbat. Amijam, Barak. Yom Matah. Sar means it's turn. We're going to face the sisters. We're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Amijam Shabbat. Amijam, Barak.
Yahweh Shema Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh Shema Hashem Yahushua.
Yom Matah. Class dismissed.
Who's the power? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Who's the power? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is the power. Who do you fear?